President Harden, before you begin today's meeting, I would like to read a few announcements. Good morning. Welcome to the September 25th, 2025 board meeting. Before we start the meeting, I would like to share a few safety points and next meeting announcements. Please note that the primary exit and entrance to the boardroom is the door which you used to enter this morning. If you are leaving the room, please use this door. The restrooms are outside the boardroom doors to your left. During the meeting, we ask that you keep all aisles and exits clear. If you need any assistance during the meeting, please waive the attention of one of our security officers. Please mark your calendars for the upcoming meetings. The next ARC meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, October 8th, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. The next board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. The ARC and board meetings will be held at 42 West Madison Street, Garden Level Boardroom. For details on how to register to speak or observe at the meetings and to learn about the speaker lottery process, please visit the Chicago Board of Education website, cpsboe.org. If you have any questions about registration or public participation, please contact the board office for assistance. Thank you for joining us today. President Harden, we are now ready for you to begin the meeting.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Chicago Board of Education meeting. Today is September 25th, 2025. We are holding today's board meeting in the boardroom at CPS Loop Office, 42 West Madison Street, Garden Level. I'd like to note that board members, honorary student board member, and senior leadership are physically present in the boardroom. Registered speakers may join us in person or virtually if they've opted to do so. I'm President Sean B. Harden on behalf of my fellow board members. Thank you for joining us today. The regular meeting of Thursday, September 25th, 2025 is hereby called to order. Board Secretary, please call the roll.
Thank you. Member Lozano?
Present.
Member Smith?
Here.
Member Lopez?
Present.
Member Velez?
Present.
Member Boyle?
Here.
Member Wallace?
Present.
Member Custer?
Present.
Member Pope?
Here.
Member Rosenfeld?
Here.
Member Rivas?
Present.
Member Brown?
Present.
Member Rios Sierra?
Present.
Member Bannon?
Present.
Member Gutierrez?
Present.
Member Biggs?
Present.
Member Blaze?
Present.
Member Zakor?
Present.
Vice President Bautista, who's joining us virtually via Zoom.
Present.
President Harden. We have 19 members present. We do have a quorum. I'd also like to recognize Dr. Macklin King, Interim Superintendent, Chief Executive Officer, Elizabeth Barton, Acting General Counsel, and Destiny Singleton, our Honorary Student Board Member. Thank you.
The order of the meeting will be as follows. We'll begin with honoring excellence, Interim Superintendent CEO remarks, committee updates, public participation, recess, we'll reconvene from recess, discussion of public agenda items, vote on public agenda items, we'll go into closed session, reconvene from closed session, and then finally adjourn. Today we have someone special joining us today. Destiny Singleton is our new 2025 honorary student board member. Welcome, Destiny. We're pleased to have you today. We welcome the student perspective to the board. You've already made an incredible impression, and we look forward to working with you. We'd like to begin with you telling us a little bit about yourself and when you're going to take over as president.
Hi, I'm Destiny Singleton, and I'm a 17-year-old senior at Ogden International High School. I'm a full IB diploma program candidate. I'm a film lover, I'm a tutor, I am a friend, and most importantly, I'm an advocate. I'm someone who speaks up when things are hard and difficult. I'm incredibly appreciative to step into this role at such a pivotal time in CPS history. And that's why I applied. And I'm so unbelievably excited to hold this position and exercise my advocacy to make a real measurable difference in the lives of the students of this district. This is one sizable goal, but I know that during my tenure here, I can make it happen. And I've already begun advocating for the students at my school and pointing out areas where we aren't being heard and providing steps to change. Because to me, advocacy is about action and not conversations. To all the CPS students out there, I enter this role with an open mind, and empathy, and compassion, and transparency. And I'm profoundly humbled to be able to represent your curious minds, your innovative and powerful voices, and your great ambitions. I'm committed to our collective advancement as students, and together we will usher in a new era that prioritizes and centers our perspectives because we are stronger together than we are separated. Thank you.
Outstanding, outstanding. It's clear, your leadership. Board members, are there any comments or questions? Yes, member.
Yeah, I'd just like to welcome you.
Member
co-
Blaze.
I co-sign that sentiment. Welcome. I'm glad you have been practicing your advocacy at your school because we want to hear from you too. I'm not sure what the procedure is, but after something happens, we all get to chime in. I'm not sure if she does, but if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel like talking in this forum, just come grab one of us and make sure, and you say what you need to say. We're all very proud of you and glad you're here. Thank you.
No, absolutely. She will be able to speak just as any other board member. Absolutely. Member Wallace.
Congratulations, Board Member Singleton. I'm so glad to hear from you and see that you are here. In a time when the world we're learning absolute power absolutely corrupts. I'm glad to hear that you're an advocate for your classmates and your coworkers. I'm glad to see that you're here and you're ready to shine brightly.
Member Pope.
Yes, as a former high school activist, it thrills me to hear you say that you're getting involved in activism as a high school student. And I hope you'll make a lifelong habit of it because it is definitely what we need in this city and in this country. Thank you so much and welcome.
Member Brown.
Welcome, Destiny. It warms my heart to hear you speak with conviction and confidence. And similar to what other board members said, in the times that we are living in, please remember that young people are not the future, you're now. Your time to lead is now. It's not later. It's not when you become an adult. Your voice is not a token voice on this board. You need to make sure that we're clear when we're making decisions because you all are the ones directly impacted. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Brown. Are there other comments? Again, welcome. We look forward to your contributions. Dr. King.
Good morning and welcome, Board Member Singleton. I am grateful for your voice here. Look forward to hearing your voice within the meetings, but I also look forward to working with you out in community.
Great, thank you. We will now proceed with honoring excellence.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, everyone. With our school year now underway, we are excited to resume the practice of opening our monthly Board of Education meetings with what we call Honoring Excellence. This is an opportunity to highlight individuals and programs that enrich the student experience. I'm Dr. Karime Asaf, and I am proud to lead the district's Office of Multilingual Multicultural Education, OME. Today, we are pleased to recognize our district's international teachers and the world language programs they support. To speak about OME's world language programming and the importance of multilingual education, I'd like to introduce Dr. Fabiola Fada Jinsky. Dr. Jinsky has led the district's enhancement and expansion of world language programming over the past 12 years.
Thank you, Dr. Asaf, and good morning, everyone. It has been a pleasure and an honor to oversee the growth of world language education in public schools during my tenure in CPS. Teaching world languages is a critical component of building bridges between students of different backgrounds, and it provides a springboard for students to become global citizens. In fact, learning a world language has a direct impact on improved brain function, including enhanced memory and problem solving, as well as an increased career prospect in an increasingly globalized society. Additionally, it fosters a deeper cultural understanding through direct, meaningful access to art, literature, traditions. It also promotes communication skills and personal growth through discipline and adaptability, and can even delay cognitive decline in our later years. In partnership with the Talent Office, OME has increased the number of teachers providing world language instruction across the city. CPS is committed to providing all of our students with the academic, linguistic, and intercultural skills necessary to thrive in a globalized society. Currently, we have over 108,000 students enrolled in world language courses. We teach some of the language that you might not think of, like Korean, Polish, Latin, and American Sign Language. We also have the largest Mandarin program in the country. In addition to building global awareness for our students, our international teacher program aligns directly with the talented and empowered educators, which is part of our district 5-year strategic plan. And it's also a key component of the Teach Chicago talent strategy. Our international teacher programs team, led by our colleague Paula Carrera, brings top-tier teachers from around the country, around the world, to showcase new teaching strategies and cultures for our students. In the past decade, CPS has welcomed international teachers into more than 20% of CPS schools. This year alone, we have more than 100 international teachers representing 9 different countries. All of our international teachers provide instruction in high-impact content areas, and many support our district world language programs. One of our exceptional international teachers is Miss Airi Yamamoto, who arrived in Chicago 8 years ago through a partnership between the CPS Talent Office and the Japanese Consulate. I remember the day well. Ms. Yamamoto supports the Japanese language program at Lavaiso and Hughes elementary schools in the Chicago's Roseland community. During her time with CPS, she has taken 27 students on trips to Japan. Each 8-day excursion has included a mix of cultural and historical learning in Tokyo, as well as student exchange with Japanese students at the local school. We thank Ms. Yamamoto for her dedication and for bringing world languages to life through these experiences, and for successfully building cultural bridges with the world for our students in CPS. We are excited to have her here and with some of her beautiful students, and I now invite her to share some thoughts on her experience teaching in CPS. Thank you for listening.
Good morning. My name is Ari Yamamoto. I'm the Japanese teacher at Langston Hughes and the Lavaiso Elementary Schools. I came to these schools 8 years ago through the International Teachers Program. It was a collaboration between CPS and the Japanese Consulate General. Thank you so much for giving us time this morning to share out our wonderful Japanese programs at 2 schools in Roseland. I'd like to talk benefit of our school and the community. In Japanese class, we start out learning foundational Japanese words and phrases. For example, numbers, colors, and greetings. As we progress, we work up more conversational phrases. In addition to learning a new language, the Japanese program helps them to learn about new culture and create respect for diversity. We explore traditions, food, art, history, and calligraphy. The students also really enjoy when they are able to discuss elements of pop culture, where they are extremely interested and highly engaged in the topics. This helps to build understanding and celebration of different cultures. The growth of this program has been made possible by strong support of our community, the Japanese Consulate General, and the Japanese Chamber of Commerce, and of course, CPS board members. Also, the incredible generosity of Mr. Ichiro Ozawa, a member of Japanese House of Representatives, allowed us to bring 27 students to Japan to explore Japanese culture. We visited landmarks, learned about the history, tried different food, visited local shops and markets. The students also visited Japanese elementary school, where they had the opportunity to engage in a real peer-to-peer exchange with local students and join their daily classroom activities, such as clean up the classroom or serving school lunch. Now I will hear that. Now you have a chance to hear direct from our students about their experience this program. Please welcome Riley Robinson, Beverly Williams, Cole Nesby from Labazo, and Mariah Lewis, Danisha Williams, Jaden Moore from Langston Hughes Elementary.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Cole Nesby. I'm an 8th grader at IB Labzo. Learning Japanese connects me to the world because it gave me an opportunity to talk to many people it's given me opportunity to talk to people all over the world without a language barrier blocking me from any of them. And I am a firm believer that teaching different cultures and languages all over the world should happen everywhere. And so does my school, my IB school, as they believe that this should also happen while they aim to make students that are scholars be able to see the importance in this program.
Good morning. Wantashi Wa Williams Beverly Des. I am an 8th grader at Lavazo IB NYP school. One thing I enjoy about learning Japanese is how their culture is celebrated differently from ours. I also enjoy their festivities and how the Japanese people take traditions so seriously because it shows respect. I am also the only person in my family, the first generation to speak Japanese. We are likely the only people in the Rosen area to speak Japanese. Arigato gozaimasu.
Good morning. My name is Mariah Lewis. I am in 7th grade at Langston Hughes Elementary School. One thing that shocked me when I went to Japan is when we went to Japanese elementary school and they had to clean up the entire school after they were done with their lunch. And that really made my mind want to expand and go to other places because it's a lot to explore in the world.
Good morning. Minasan konnichiwa. Watashi no Williams Danisha des Hajime Mashite. I just said nice to meet you. My name is Danisha Williams. Learning Japanese had made a difference for me because it made me want to explore different cultures and try more of the Japanese food. Because when I tried the rice ball, it was something that I never tried before, and it makes me want to try other Japanese foods.
Good morning. My name is Jaden Moore. I'm in 7th grade. I go Langston Hughes Elementary School. I've learned that to try new things and explore these different words far better than my understanding Japanese class. That's why I'm a standout student in my school. And I believe it's important to know that we're the only class or only schools to have a Japanese program. And that's why Japanese class is so important to me. Thank you for supporting our Japanese program.
Good morning. My name is Riley Robinson. One thing I enjoy about being a part of the Japanese program is that I got to attend the Japan trip in 2023. Let me introduce myself in Japanese. Minasan konnichiwa. Watashi no namae wa Robinson Riley desu. Hajimemashite. Lavazo shogaku no 7 nensei desu. 12歳です。好きな教科は数学です。どうぞよろしくお願いします。
She just said, Hello, everyone. My name is Riley Robinson. I'm seventh grade in Labazo. I'm 12 years old. My favorite subject is math. Nice to meet you in Japanese. Great job.
Learning Japanese makes me feel more connected to the world because not everyone speaks English. And me being able to speak to people in their native language opens up doors to more meaningful connections. Thank you for supporting our Japanese program.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you honoring excellence.
President Harden, before we move on, I do want to note for the record that Member DeBerry joined the meeting at 10:51 a.m. Thank you.
Board members, are there any comments or questions related to honoring excellence? Member Brown.
Thank you so much for that presentation. It was inspirational. Thank you for your work. I have a question for the department and for Superintendent King. How do we expand these opportunities across CPS? That's one question. And the second question is, often when folks deal with world language and African languages are not included. So I'm thinking about Kiswahili, which is the largest second language spoken by African people across the world. I remember Kenwood had a Kiswahili class at one time. I don't know if they still do. And I'm just wondering, again, what are the plans to expand this throughout the district and then also to offer African languages or that particular African language?
So I'm not sure about the Kenwood program, but I was taken aback by this program. I was invited to attend an event at the Japanese consulate, and that is how I became aware of this in my own backyard, right? This program opportunity. And I wanted to bring them forward because this is our why. And this is what we're protecting when we meet every day and we work throughout the day of the weeks and the months, is to expand opportunities like this. And I think that that's a conversation we need to have, because how do we expand the opportunities that are afforded to our students across the entire city, language, culture, and so forth. So I welcome that conversation. And I want to thank the team for coming out. They left so fast, they missed their praise, but they have to get back to Japanese class.
Member Boyle.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that both Langston Hughes and Lavizo are schools in my district, and I've been lucky enough to visit both of them and actually participate in a lesson at Langston Hughes and to tour the school with board member Smith at Lavizo and to speak with the students about how excited they are with the program. Kudos to you guys. It was a great experience.
Member Lopez.
Thank you, Board President. Similar, I applaud. Great program. One, I guess I can also speak about my own experience going to Benito Juarez. Benito Juarez offers Chinese as one of the option of languages. And I remember just learning so much, right, outside of my Mexican-American culture, also learn about the Chinese community. And it's important now thinking, for our students and how do we work towards a 21st century, world class. And this one way we can start, right? Thinking of not just the language, giving them more tools as when they enter the workforce, but also, like they said, it opens their mind of trying whether it be different cuisines, open to different cultures. And it's something that we need to have a broader conversation, not just here in Chicago, but in the country, of being accepting and being welcoming of diversity. Thank you.
Member Zakor.
Thank you, President Harden. That was really an awesome presentation, and I hope everyone caught that those young people had memorized what they were going to say, which is extra impressive. I just have one quick question. Of the 108,000 students in world language, does that include students who are taking the required languages in high school? Or could you break out how many elementary students get to take world language?
Good morning, board members.
Good morning.
If we haven't met, my name is Christine Murphy Judson. I'm the Executive Director of Talent Acquisition for CPS, a role I've been blessed to have over the last 10 years. I'm also the responsible officer of our International Teacher Program, which is run in partnership with the Department of State through the Bridge USA program. So I'm especially lucky that I got the chance to select all of these teachers who have come to work in our district. The 108,000 does include the requirement for the high school languages for graduation. We'd be happy to provide some additional information to you all after the meeting about the breakdown of how many students, which languages students are pursuing. And to answer Board Member Brown's question from earlier, we do have just a handful of teachers from Africa who are here. We do not yet have the infrastructure to offer African languages as a world language program, in part because it takes a significant investment to start a world language program at a school in terms of staff capacity and resourcing for actual physical materials. Our international teacher program is run in partnership with agencies or embassies from around the world. So we actually do not have a CPS budget for our international teacher program beyond the cost of the teacher salary, like any other teacher in the district. So we work really hard with philanthropy and outside organizations to find ways to support and grow these programs.
May I say something real quick? Thank you for that. And just for future reference, Africa has a number, thousands of languages that are tribal. The only non-tribal language is Kiswahili. So it's spoken across the continent. It originates in East Africa, but it's spoken across the continent. I know Kennedy King had a Kiswahili program. That may be a resource, but just a thought.
Member Smith.
Yes, I'm aware that the program where the Japanese consulate was working with Levizo Elementary also offered the grant for them to actually go to Japan. How has CPS been working with other consulates and through procurement creating other collaborations so that this can continue and everyone can share accountability with our children? Also, I know we were talking about high schools. That's the first question. Second question, I know we were talking about high schools and where teachers are distributed, but all studies show that the earlier a child learns a foreign language, the more impactful it is to them. So I guess I'm more interested in the elementary schools and how foreign language teachers are distributed through elementary schools. And when I visit my schools, I visited over 50 schools now, they're struggling to find world language teachers. So I need to know where this 108,000 teachers were distributed, because they weren't on the deep south side or east side. We need them at Washington. We need them at Carver. So, schools, underserved neighborhoods, that's where I like to see world languages. How have we moved on that? Elementary schools, and are we working with other consulates like we do with the Japanese consulate? Thank you.
Member Smith, we do work with other consulates as well. We've had a strong partnership with the Spanish Ministry of Education over the last decade. And in fact, we're going to be hosting some representatives from the universities of Castilla and Leon October 22nd for professional development for our teachers and administrators at our OME Center on the west side. Happy to get you a map of where our international teachers are. As you well know, teacher hiring is a dance every summer, but I've got lots of information I'd be happy to share as a follow-up on that.
Member Wallace.
I know that they've already left, but I just wanted to be on record that it was very impressive, the presentation they put on. For the one young lady that said she is the first student in her family to be able to speak Japanese, watching my children come home and speak different languages, 2 of my boys are in Arabic. It's lovely to be able to learn new things from them. And also, Dr. Smith, I took French starting in first grade. So j'ai étudié français pour 11 ans. Shout out to Mademoiselle Jones at McDay Classical. But there are some schools, I know that it's been like many of the arts and languages have been falling by the wayside, but hopefully we can all work together to be able to build that back up.
Thank you all for your comments. Dr. King, we're ready for your remarks.
Good morning. Thank you. I'll begin this morning by addressing ongoing conversations around the possible restructuring within our central and network offices. I want to emphasize that no final decisions have been made and that no changes are being implemented at this time. CPS is carefully considering every possible option to strengthen teaching and learning and to help us in our mission of providing all students with the rigorous, joyful, and equitable learning experiences they deserve. We are committed to moving forward with transparency and will keep everyone in our CPS community informed and engaged as decisions around any structural changes take shape. I'll move on to our district celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. These 4 weeks are a chance for us to reflect on the many ways in which the culture, history, and heritage of our Latinx students and staff enrich our CPS communities. I had the pleasure of kicking off the month at the Mexican Independence Day Parade in Pilsen, and it was great and hot to see so many students and families coming together to celebrate their shared heritage. I was also lucky enough to attend the Chicago Public Library book discussion with Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor about her new book. The audience was filled with families, children, educators, and readers, and a group of students from Cooper Dual Language Academy. Justice Sotomayor is the first person of Hispanic descent ever to serve on the United States Supreme Court. So it was truly an honor to connect with her, especially during Hispanic Heritage Month. Her book speaks directly to children about the ways that they can show love to one another, sharing lessons of empathy, kindness, and the importance of helping others, and find their inner brilliance, which is particularly a timely message given the current state of our world. Joining us at this special event was Commissioner Rachel Arfa of the Office of People with Disabilities at the Mayor's Office. Next month, Commissioner Arfa will join Chief Asaf and myself for a read aloud at Cooper Elementary. Cooper Elementary has a significant population of students who are deaf and hard of hearing. Commissioner Arfa will read Justice Sotomayor's book in American Sign Language. Chief Asaf will share the book reading in Spanish. And no surprise, I will be reading the book in English. September is actually Deaf and Hard of Hearing Awareness Month, so I'm glad for this chance to acknowledge our district's approximately 1,000 students with hearing challenges. I also want to recognize the dedicated teachers and staff who support our deaf and hard of hearing students in reaching their full potential and finding their rightful presence. Thanks to an investment from the CPS Office for Students with Disabilities, this group of educators will soon be growing. OSD is partnering with Illinois State University to give 23 CPS teachers the opportunity to earn their master's in special education in their deaf and hard of hearing endorsement at no cost, with the understanding that they will continue to serve in CPS schools for the next at least 6 years. That is a round of applause. Thank you. I'm excited about this program, and I look forward to working with these educators as they continue to show our deaf and hard of hearing students that they are bright, resourceful young people who are capable of great things. In Arts Education Week, I'd also want to call out more than 1,300 CPS art instructors who recently completed their celebration of National Arts and Education Week. Along with our district's hundreds of arts partners, these instructors are nurturing our students' creativity and helping them uncover their talents. They are supported by outstanding administrative teams, including Lillian Blazer, the Manager of Professional Learning for the CPS Department of Arts Education, who was recently awarded the Arts Administrator Supervisor of the Year Award by the Illinois Arts Education Association. The IAEA, which is the premier professional development provider for art, design, and media educators in Illinois, found Lillian's professional performance, service, and leadership to be exemplary in every regard. This level of dedication reinforces the fact that at CPS, instruction in the arts is not an extra. On the contrary, it is central to the robust, joyful, and equitable student learning experience outlined in our district's 5-year strategic plan. We made our commitment to the arts abundantly clear earlier this year when the board approved Cultivating Creativity, which is CPS' revamped arts education plan. I thank all of the teachers, administrators, and partners who are making this plan a reality in our classrooms, and I hope that they all felt celebrated and appreciated during Arts and Education Week. Our most recent September celebration came earlier this week as well for Peace Day 2025, when CPS participated in Peace Day Chicago. Students from 31 CPS schools traveled downtown to join in the festivities, and it was gratifying to see so many of our young people rallied around such an urgently needed concept. With all the conflict in our world right now, including the turmoil many are experiencing in our city, we must commit to a safe, supportive, and inclusive climate in all of our schools. A climate rooted in peace is what allows our students and staff to feel safe at school, which is essential to their learning. But we need that feeling of safety to extend beyond the classroom. This is where our district's crossing guards and safe passage workers come in. Earlier this month, I had the pleasure of walking along several of these individuals who are serving students in Chicago's Gage Park and East Garfield Park communities. Thank you, Board Member Lopez, for inviting me out. And it was clear to me that their impact goes beyond their physical presence. Our crossing guards and safe passage workers build relationships with the students and families they serve, strengthening the bonds within our school communities. I am profoundly grateful for the peace of mind these dedicated community members are providing to our students and their parents, especially during what is a very challenging time for many CPS families and communities. That brings us to the increase of federal immigration agents we've seen throughout our city for the past several weeks. I know that this continues to be a time of great fear and anxiety for many of our students and families. But I want to emphasize again that CPS is fully prepared and that our schools remain the best and safest place for children in Chicago. Except in the rare circumstances, CPS will not share student information with any federal agent, and no federal agent will be allowed to access our schools. We have also created guidance for our families around staying safe when traveling to and from school and in the community, understanding your constitutional rights, and accessing immigration-related resources. During this very stressful time, we are here to support our staff and families at every turn, and we will continue to do all that we can to create learning environments where everyone feels safe, supported, and valued. I'll now turn to our transportation updates. At last month's board meeting, I reported that our student transportation team had successfully placed more than 10,800 students on bus routes. Today, that number is 12,656, with more than 98% of students with disabilities now receiving transportation services. Requests for transportations continue to come in daily, and our goal is to get all eligible students on a bus within 10 days of those requests. In accordance with Illinois law and CPS policy, we are continuing to prioritize bus service for students with disabilities and our students facing homelessness. But we look forward to relaunching our Hub Stop program later in the school year to begin serving our general education students who are eligible for transportation services. My next update for today actually has to do with next school year. I'm excited to share that the Go CPS application period for the 26-27 school year is now open. As a reminder, Go CPS is a one-stop shop for exploring the many academic programs our district has to offer, including neighborhood schools, magnet programs, career and technical education opportunities, and selective enrollment schools. Families can visit the Go CPS website to explore their options and access helpful training sessions on navigating the application process for both elementary and high school. All Go CPS applications for the 26-27 school year must be submitted by 5 p.m. on Friday, November 14th. I'd now like to touch on some recent data, beginning with our district's enrollment as of the 20th day of school. Our current enrollment is 316,224,000, which is about 9% fewer students than last year. Enrollment decreased across the majority of grade levels and most student groups, including identifying as Black, Latinx, economically disadvantaged, English language learners, and students in temporary living situations. However, we saw increased enrollment among students identifying as white, Asian, and multiracial, as well as students with disabilities. Attendance rates in the first 4 weeks of school are also up across all student groups when compared to previous years. CPS will have additional data to share in the upcoming weeks, this time on the academic side. This will include our graduation and freshman on track rates, as well as some encouraging trends we're seeing among our district's youngest learners. And we expect to again see impressive results when it comes to scholarships and early college and career credentials earned by our class of 2025 graduates. Our academic teams are processing this data now, and we look forward to sharing with all stakeholders during the month of October. Finally, today, I want to emphasize our district's continued commitment to CPS policies that have been called into question recently by the federal government. This school year alone, the U.S. Department of Education has threatened to withhold $12 million in grant funding unless CPS dissolves our Black Student Success Plan and reverse our policies around supporting transgender and gender nonconforming students. We are confident that our policies do not violate federal laws. Thus, we find the government's actions deeply disappointing. That said, CPS will not back away from our commitments to Black, transgender, or any other student groups. We will continue to consider diversity among our district's greatest strengths, and will move forward with uplifting and protecting the rights of all students. CPS is exploring all of our funding options should these threats from the federal government become reality, and we will keep our school communities updated as these things progress. For now, what I can tell you is that our district will not back away from doing what we know is right. We will take to heart a story about Benjamin Franklin that was shared by Justice Sotomayor. The story goes that Benjamin Franklin left the Constitutional Convention in 1787. He was approached by a prominent Philadelphia socialite who asked, "Well, doctor, what have we got, a republic or a monarchy?" Franklin replied, "A republic, if you can keep it. Our voices matter. They must not only be heard, they must be amplified, because when we speak together, we don't just make noise, we create change. Let us rise united, unwavering, to shape the future our students deserve. Individually, we may be powerful, but collectively, we are unstoppable. Mr. President, this concludes my prepared remarks.
Thank you very much, Dr. King.
President Harden, the Spanish translator, will now translate Dr. King's statement into Spanish as a condensed statement. If you wish to receive the fully translated statement, please contact the board office for assistance.
Buenos días. Quiero comenzar respondiendo a conversaciones sobre posibles reestructuraciones en nuestras oficinas centrales y de red. Actualmente se están explorando todas las opciones e involucraremos a todas las partes interesadas en cuanto a cualquier potencial cambio. Durante el mes de septiembre, CPS celebró el mes de la herencia hispana, el mes de concientización de la sordera y la dificultad auditiva, la Semana Nacional de las Artes en la Educación y el Día de la Paz en Chicago. Estas celebraciones fueron una oportunidad para elevar el patrimonio latino, la instrucción en las artes, los ambientes de aprendizaje inclusivos y la necesidad por la paz en las comunidades escolares y nuestro mundo. La seguridad estudiantil continúa siendo una prioridad primordial en nuestro distrito y queremos agradecer a nuestros guardias de cruce de calles y nuestros empleados de Safe Passage por la labor que hacen protegiendo a nuestros estudiantes a medida que viajan desde y hacia la escuela. También continuamos ofreciendo ambientes de aprendizaje seguros y acogedores para todos los miembros del estudiantado y el personal, aún en medio del aumento a los agentes federales en nuestras comunidades. También hemos dado a nuestro personal y familias información para mantenerse seguros en sus comunidades, guías para que comprendan sus derechos constitucionales y acceso a recursos para inmigrantes. En cuanto al transporte estudiantil, CPS ofrece ahora servicio de autobuses para más del 98% de los estudiantes con discapacidades elegibles. Llegan cada día nuevas solicitudes de transporte y la meta del distrito continúa siendo poner estudiantes elegibles en una ruta de autobuses a los 10 días de su solicitud. Ha comenzado el periodo de solicitudes por GoCPS para el año escolar 2026-2027. Les recordamos que GoCPS es la herramienta que usan las familias para explorar todos los programas académicos que ofrece el distrito. Las solicitudes deben entregarse antes de las 5 de la tarde, el 14 de noviembre de 2025, para que puedan ser consideradas para el año escolar 2026-27. Hoy publicamos el total de matrícula de nuestro distrito al 20º día del año escolar actual. Ese total es 316,224 estudiantes, aproximadamente 9% menos que la que teníamos matriculados en escuelas de CPS el año pasado. Afortunadamente, los niveles de asistencia para las primeras 4 semanas del año escolar fueron mayores que en años anteriores. Durante el mes de octubre, CPS compartirá datos académicos sobre el año escolar 2024-2025, incluyendo las tasas de graduación y las credenciales preuniversitarias o profesionales obtenidas por los estudiantes. Finalmente hoy, quiero reconocer que el gobierno federal ha amenazado negarle hasta $12,000 millones en fondos de becas a CPS este año, a menos de que el distrito dé fin a su plan para el éxito para estudiantes negros, conocido en inglés como el Black Student Success Plan, o elimine sus políticas para apoyar a nuestros estudiantes transgénero o de género no conforme. CPS no tiene la intención de abandonar esas políticas y continuará elevando los derechos y las protecciones de todos sus estudiantes. This concludes my condensed statement.
Thank you. We have no committee updates this month, so we'll proceed with public participation.
Mr. President, comments on the CEO's remarks?
Apologies. Member Rivas.
Thank you, Dr. King, for your remarks today. I just want to note that last week was pretty distressing for many of us on Friday when we started getting phone calls from principals and district chiefs regarding the shakeup, the change in management. It was a complete surprise to us. We had not received any official or unofficial or any indication that this was going to be happening. Um, and notably, our principals were concerned. I had several principals who, talked about their beginning of year evaluations and what does this mean with our new contract with our principals, and if their managers were going to be changing and who they could send their tickets to when they have issues that they need to address, and whether the wording was firing versus layoff versus, someone has to reapply for their job. Anyone reapplying for a job seems to me to think that that job may not exist. And so I just want us to consider working on stronger communication between the CEO's office and board. Our board is here now representing geographic areas of our city. We have constituents, not just the voters, but also the principals who serve in the schools in our district, and our geographic districts. I have 33 schools, that's 33 principals, 33 assistant principals, some district chiefs that reach out when there's things like this happening that they're concerned about. And I'm glad that they did and that they felt comfortable to do so. So I just ask that we work on building strong communication between the board and management. Something that I'm fairly passionate about and I talk about often is, what does it mean between governance and management? And although, a lot of these things are under your purview as CEO, it's still important to have open communication with your board in these types of decisions because they affect, what we receive. And it felt very uncomfortable to be blindsided by this and not be able to give responses to the people reaching out to us about this. And notably that it was very upsetting for them. And so I just want us to work on communication and how, we work on informing community about these changes because our goal as board members is that we need to be here to be the messengers to community about the district's vision. And in order for us to be able to do that, we need the right information at the right time to be able to continue to build those strong relationships with our community, and then the relationship between CPS management and our board. Thank you.
Member Lopez.
Thank you, Board President. First, I just want to thank you for joining the parents in the Safe Passage in Gage Park, walking those routes. I know it was very meaningful to the community. We had Alderwoman Halo Gutierrez from the 14th Ward also join us along with our VPNC community partners. I know that it was very meaningful for me in particular because it was a difficult day. As it was mentioned, our communities across the city, in particular Southwest Side, we've been targeted by ICE. In particular, that day my dad was followed by ICE. So he's okay, but sharing this because ICE is targeting people that look like my dad, Spanish. Thank you. Working class. And this is what my students are worried about, right? So how do we continue supporting them? Thank you for everyone who's been supportive, not just of the Southwest Side, but also I know the Northwest Side has been impacted and across Illinois, including some of those surrounding suburbs. So again, thank you so much. I also just wanted to mention, I am reviewing some of the information that your office has sent us over as it pertains to our IEP and English learners. So thank you for getting that information to us. The other is I appreciate an update regarding the custodians as well. I know that is something that has been ongoing. I've been hearing from principals throughout the district, some of the custodians who are still waiting to get a response. And many of them, as it was mentioned before, they've been working for CPS, not necessarily directly, but they've been working in our schools for 10, 15 years. Some are 50 plus years old, and the contract is already coming up to an end next week or so. So I will appreciate an update and also an update for the schools are still waiting to hear from that. And just going back into communication among with everyone, I will say this openly, as I've said it to another board member recently, where I said, well, it looks like maybe we should schedule briefings with the media because they seem sometimes to get the breaking news before some of the board members do. Thank you.
Member Roosevelt.
Couple of things. First of all, I'm asking that in October, when we do publish those scores, if we can also publish the raw and the scale scores. So I think that's just very important in terms of clarity and transparency, so we can provide a fuller picture of what these numbers look like and what they look like across the years. In terms of the deaf and hard of hearing, I appreciate you shouting that out. I know Rachel and I love her. All four of my kids went to Bell Elementary and they're fluent in sign language. So also speaking in terms of sign, the importance of having these programs at the schools. And it's pretty amazing to watch them sign. And then finally, yeah, I'm with Member Lopez and Member Rivas. Decisions around structural changes should include us in these conversations. I didn't like the phone calls I got. You know, I wasn't even sure what the answers were supposed to be. I wasn't even sure what the policy looked like. So I was blindsided as well. And whether that be speaking to the network chiefs, principals, other organizations, just easier. And it makes us a stronger unit if we know what's coming. So I would appreciate that type of communication as well.
Member Brown.
Yeah. So two recommendations, because first I know that Superintendent King, your job is not easy. You've taken on an enormous weight. We're appreciative of that. There are people running from Chicago who think it's too messy. It's that the muck is too deep for them to consider being a full-time superintendent. So again, I just want to thank you for that. I think one recommendation, because I got a lot of calls as well, is to have a community conversation about the impact of the networks and how people feel about them. I got calls from principals, but I also got calls from a lot of local school council members. And connected to that, I was at a North Lawndale CAC meeting last night, and Fanny Diego Alvarez was there, who I adore. And one of the things that we talked about was really going back. There was a time when Chicago Public Schools actually put some effort into really strengthening local school councils. That's how I became a trainer in 1999. We had something called the LSC Institute, where community members became LSC facilitators, and just figure out ways to provide more support to LSCs, because we know that when LSCs are supported, they work. But then there's a power dynamic between network chiefs and LSC members. And that power dynamic becomes, well, who are the principal, who are they accountable to? And so I just think it'd be good to have a community conversation to kind of hear other perspectives. And again, I would like to be a part of a conversation to say, how do we help maximize the effectiveness of local school councils? So that was it.
Are there any other comments or questions from the board? Member Gutierrez.
Yeah, and I would echo what Board Member Brown said, and love to be part of that discussion, because I think the more and more that I go out to local school councils, right, there's some that are highly functioning, highly performing, and then there's others that struggle, right, to get membership, and I think that there could be a nice roundtable, best practices, and maybe it is bringing back an institute and retraining folks in the local community to be part of a bigger dynamic. So thank you.
Yes, I want to echo Board Member Gutierrez and Board Member Brown that stronger community ties all the way around really impact students. I've also had an opportunity to attend some district network training sessions, and I've seen how important network chiefs are to how our teachers teach curriculum. I've seen network chiefs make sense of Skyline for principals who are still trying to make sense of how to operate that system. I've seen network chiefs bring in parent mentors and community resources that so often principals just did not have access to. I see network chiefs who have over 34 schools that they're helping teachers and principals in alongside teaching coaches. So I see the value of the LSCs. I see the values of our district leaders, our principals, but also our network chiefs. I just don't want to get caught up in because someone is not directly in the classroom, it doesn't directly affect the competencies and proficiencies of our students. CPS is a very deep network with some of the best professionals in the world. This is one of the best school districts in the country. And although we are here in the sausage making process, it doesn't mean that we don't produce good product. And in spite of some of the harms that have come from Central District, I've seen people in community really make amazing things happen, like what we see at Levizo with our students learning Japanese. So I just want to just highlight the importance of everyone in CPS that makes us one of the best school districts in the country. And as a member of the superintendent search team, we are really overflowing with applicants. People want to be here. And I think that it is incumbent upon us as board members to make this place as attractive as possible. Thank you.
Member Blaze.
Good morning. CEO Dr. King, I just want to say, I know it's hard to make those cuts to central office. You're around those folks all the time. But I think it's an important step. We're cutting crossing guards, we're cutting safe passage workers, the schools, we still haven't figured out this janitor thing. I think it's a good, I think it's an important step to show that everybody's got to take a little bit to fix this, or take a little bit of a hit to fix this budget gap. So, what I'm saying is I think the people, I've heard from many folks in the community that the central office is bloated. When I got here, and I don't know if that's true or not. Obviously, I've done no studies. I'm just saying what the narrative is outside. And when I first got here, I was like, have we done any inventory on central office? And I was told everything's fine. There's no possible way they could cut anything from it. So I know that this wasn't easy, and I know that there's going to be additional pains that happen, because I'm still upset about the few cuts we got on the west side. But we've all got to do what we've got to do to balance this budget. So I'll say that.
Vice President Bautista.
We can move forward.
Member Lozano.
Yes, thank you, President Harden and Dr. King. I was just worried also because I met with some parents and them going to school to drop their children off, and how frightened they were because there were, trucks of ice around their building. And I was able to help some of them put together like a signal so that they can at least tell each other what blocks they're on so that they could get their home without getting picked up and stuff like that. But I'm also concerned about, these crossing guards and safe passage, because they're so important right now to those families, because those are the people that will intervene if they need to. We have a community now that's wearing whistles, so that if the migra comes or ICE is there, you blow the whistle and all the community comes out and provides the family with some kind of protection while they're trying to get away and get home. So all of this is going on, and I know that there's so much going on, and that also I wanted to mention that back when Rahm Emanuel was mayor, he cut like 50 schools. He just closed them. But I understand there was no cuts like to central office. So there was still like all of those, people in central office that would support those schools that were still there and they were still working. So I think that could be looked at if that's true. I don't know. I'm asking you to look into that. But also to keep in mind that these safe passage workers are really there and hopefully there to help our community make sure our kids get to school safe and back home to their families. Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the board? Member Brown.
Yes, sir. Very quickly, I forgot this. Superintendent King, you had mentioned that we lost 9% of our student population. Was it 9% or was it 9,000?
The number was 9,000 fewer students than
Okay.
last year.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
That being the last comment, we'll proceed today with public participation. In compliance with the Illinois Open Meeting Act, public participation, sometimes referred to as public comment, is the portion of the board meeting or hearing that grants district stakeholders the opportunity to address the board with their concerns and comments. Note that public participation is the time for the board and CPS senior leadership to listen and hear from you, rather than a time for dialogue with board members during or after your remarks. While we can't discuss personnel matters, public participation is a key component of transparent governance, and it provides us, as board members, as well as senior leadership, an opportunity to listen to everyone who has signed to speak. The board takes equity of voice seriously, and while we may not address your comments directly during public participation, CPS leadership is always present at our meetings and are able to address concerns as follow-ups after our meeting. As a district and as a board, we also have many other spaces for authentic dialogue. For example, each and every one of our board members hosts board office hours so that we can have a conversation. And please use our website, cpsboe.org, if you want to meet with the board member during office hours. We encourage you to take advantage of the opportunity to meet with board members outside of a board meeting. Thank you for your attention and consideration. And as a reminder, union representatives will be allotted 5 minutes to speak before public participation, and elected officials will be allotted 5 minutes to speak after the conclusion of public participation. Board Secretary, please share the rules of public participation.
Thank you, President Harden. Members of the public who registered to speak were given the option to attend in person or via an electronic format. For those who prefer to attend via an electronic format, they were given information to access this meeting by dialing a number and using their phone. We did this so that speakers with limited or no access to the internet or who may have weak internet connection could still participate using their phones. Also, members of the public may submit written comments for Board of Education meetings via the written comments form on the board's website at cpsboe.org or mailed to 42 West Madison Street, Garden Level. Written comments received between the day the public agenda was posted through 5 p.m. the day after the Board of Education meeting will be submitted to the board and published within 5 business days on our website at cpsboe.org. Speakers, please listen while I provide directions for public participation. I will call your name and number when it is your turn to speak. For speakers joining us virtually, as a reminder, to unmute, please enter *6. Once you hear your name, please state your name for the record. I will then start the 2-minute timer. When there are 30 seconds remaining, I will inform you so that you can proceed to conclude your remarks to allow for the next speaker to begin. For anyone standing with the speaker, note that in order to comply with the city's fire code, please stand along the glass partitions on the marked spots to keep aisles clear. Thank you. And President Harden, before we begin calling speakers from the speakers list, we do have union reps who would like to address the board. We'll begin with Jackson Potter, CTU Vice President, who is here in person.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing better than me. I broke my collarbone, and thankfully a helmet may have saved my life. I know a lot of our young men in our high schools are riding around in single speeds would love life skills, you know, PSAs, things like that. But that's another topic for another time. I do want to say that it took me a lot to put this on for you, so I expect everything I request to be granted. And I want to start by mentioning the contrast. I started this morning at CTU. There was a sustainable community school, professional development. It was beautiful, wonderful. You know, 16 new programs being erected before our eyes that are empowering families, students, parents, administrators, educators to work together on a curriculum that really celebrates our culture, our history, our shared experience. It's birthed out of struggle, Diet High School and the hunger strike. Thank you, Board Member Brown. Little Village hunger strike. Thank you, Board Member Lozano, and your contributions over the years. Tepochcali, thank you, Board Member Lopez was present today. And it's in stark contrast to what we saw elsewhere in the city. You mentioned it, Board Member Lopez, there's a phalanx of ICE armed members across the street from back of the yards, literally look like an army roaming and roving and striking terror and trauma across school communities this morning. And it's in contrast to the billionaire broadcasters censoring Jimmy Kimmel, educators. This board is not doing that, thankfully. We are not seeing that kind of retaliation and hope never to. And instead, we will declare our shared values around academic freedom. We do have a proposal for you along those lines to fortify those commitments. It is in contrast to the Trump administration, instead of sending the resources to avoid the cuts you're describing. And by the way, I'd be remiss not to mention, nobody said anything about the bombshell expose by Sarah Karp that thousands of students aren't getting SPED services that are legally required. And that is a function of incomplete budget. That is a function of Springfield and our billionaire governor not meeting the requirement of fulfilling resources that correspond to the legal obligations that the state requires of the district. That requires taxing billionaires. We know instead of helping support schools, MAGA and Trump have instead decided to give tax breaks to billionaires. J.B. Pritzker's brethren. If you restored those tax breaks in Illinois at $8 billion, you could fully fund the school formula, fully fund mass transit, fully fund all those who've been kicked off of Medicaid, restore children who have lost SNAP benefits. Wouldn't that be the thing to do? You cannot surrender before you have stood up and tried to fight. And unfortunately, I think we're seeing that, so we've got to be the ones fighting together in unison. I may not vote for some of you, but we are in a broad front together, fighting for the schools our students deserve, fighting for public education, fighting for a Black student success plan that was enacted by this body that aims to create reparations for the students who've been harmed the most from school closings and privatization. And that runaway train, the wheels are coming off. This body voted 4 months ago to give a renewal to a charter that's just trying to close next month. What's going on here? We know that the promises from that era of experimentation have been disastrous. You're seeing it with the second largest chartered operator closing 5 schools in Acero. You're seeing it with Epic, and this is the canary in the coal mine. It is the tip of the iceberg. So we got to fortify our approach to how these renewals go, be much more scrutinous, and ensure that our students, families, educators are protected. Epic deserves better. And I'll finally close with this, and I give permission, Board Member Smith, Board Member Brown, Board Member Pope, I think if you want to remix this afterwards, you have my full support. But
You
it's
have 30
a
seconds remaining.
old song by Woody Guthrie, and it hopefully gives you some inspiration today. I'm going to tell you fascists, you're going to be surprised. The people in this world are getting organized. You're bound to lose. You fascists bound to lose. All together now. Oh, you fascists bound to lose. Oh, you fascists bound to lose. You bound to lose. You fascists bound to lose. Thank you, Superintendent King, for also saying that. Take care.
Thank you for your comments. The next union rep is Jen Conant, CTU Charter Division Chair, who is here in
I gotta say one thing. Me and Andre Vasquez is already remixing Fight the Power to Fight the Coward. So we right there, brother. Let's do it. A little bit of that in there.
Good morning, members of the board and CEO King. That's a tough act to follow. I'm Jen Conant, I'm Chair of CTU's Charter Division, and today I want to talk to you about Epic Academy, a charter school on the South Side. The school's charter was up for renewal in the spring, and in May, this board renewed the charter for 2 years. On August 21st, just 4 days before the first day of school, and without any knowledge by Epic students, family, or staff, Epic Academy's board president informed CPS of Epic's intention to close. And last week, the board of directors officially voted to close at the end of the school year or sooner. And the situation is dire. Epic does not think it can make or keep its doors open to the end of the year without support from CPS. It's important to know that Epic students and staff have been failed at multiple levels. Leaders made choices that were not financially prudent, like buying property for a new school building that will now never be used. The Epic Board of Directors failed to exercise proper oversight of finances. But CPS has a responsibility too. Despite having access to Epic's audits and budgets, CPS said they met financial standards. And people like Paul Vallis and Juan Rangel and the billionaires that bankroll them have campaigned for a charter system they claimed would be experimental and innovative. They told Chicago that charters could do better for less money, but unfortunately, that innovation just looks like instability without accountability to our school communities here. When Acero attempted to close their schools last year, CTU members and families warned you that this would happen again. And here we are, another charter operator closing a school after spending money on real estate deals that should have gone to our classrooms. Instead of taking steps to avoid this crisis, CPS renewed Epic's charter, like I said, just 4 months ago. So CPS has a responsibility to step in and ensure that hundreds of Epic students don't lose their school in the middle of the year. Students and families should not suffer because others failed to protect them and failed to exercise appropriate oversight. CPS also has the responsibility to give this school community an opportunity to remain whole beyond the end of this school year. We know the harm that school closings do to students and communities. We know that handing parents the Go CPS website, leaving each family to find a new school and each finder to find a new job, guarantees that we will lose students from the district and that we'll watch a school community thrown to the wind. Instead, CPS could make real efforts to allow students and educators to stay together and ensure that these students who are facing a CPS school closing come out with more, not less. You'll hear from educators, parents, and students from Epic Academy today about how tight-knit a community the school is, about how students have learned and grown and thrived with the support of the staff at Epic. We are here calling on CPS and this board to create a plan to keep this school community together. You have the tools to do this, whether that means CPS takes over management of the school in a CPS building or moves the whole school community to nearby South Shore. South Shore has the capacity and resources to welcome Epic students and staff. And while we're calling on CPS and this board to act to ensure that Epic remains open this year, any support must come with conditions. The additional property that Epic acquired or money from the future sale of that building must either go into the classrooms at Epic or back to CPS. That building was purchased with public funds, and so its sale must go back into the public school system. And CPS must look at what administrative expenses can be cut to reduce costs while still providing strong supports to students. Finally, this board passed a resolution in May to reform the renewal process and to provide more oversight, support, and accountability to charter schools and their operators. Looking at Epic, I hope this board is asking questions about what has changed in the renewal process and about what still needs to change. We should not have schools opening in the fall that may have budget deficits that mean doors could close mid-year. That is not fair to our school communities. We're calling on this board to act on the same principles that guided your decision last year with Acero students and schools and to protect this school community. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. The next union rep is Kia Banks, CPAA president, who is here in person.
Good morning. I would love to continue with the spirit of, humor that my colleague had, and be able to continue in that vein. But today I'm a little concerned. I'm here to ask and remind everyone, on Friday, Dr. King made some statements about a possible restructure. And it garnered a lot of attention and created some unintended confusion. But we're here today to find solutions, and solutions that will guarantee that the programs that were honored today in our schools like Lavezzo and Langston Hughes are going to be available in all of our schools across this district, so that students like Miss Destiny here are continuously empowered to be their own advocates and representatives. And I'd like to share with you, Miss Destiny, congratulations. I'm honored to be here in your presence. We have come way too far to allow for people to continue to speak for us without calling this out. It is personally disheartening to hear that a number of you all today speaking about concerns, especially the concerns of principals. I have to remind you that any personal conversations with any individual school leader that excludes their union should not be mistaken as representing school leaders as a whole. Since principals have reached out to some of you about their protections and safeties amidst a rumored reorganization, we are asking you, why have you not directed them back to the union that protects their roles, protects their jobs, protects their safety? Our union is consistently in communication with CEO King. And if we want to build the trust and strengthen the communication that you're asking for, the proper way to represent what school leaders need is to talk to the union who represents them. This is a dangerous practice, signaling a return to the top-down, compliance-driven policy making that led us to unionize in the first place. Not one of you reached out to us. Let's not forget, this proposal is not finalized. You gave her a directive. Now she's trying to fulfill it. Here's the thing, Dr. King has the hard work to do. We are not here to chime in on personnel matters, but we will always say when those decisions are not right for children or not right for our members. While the details are still unfolding, so far, I've not seen anything but a proposal that ensures that the resources you're asking for are directly streamlined to the principals who are charged with making those resources realities of student outcomes. There may be restructuring in roles, there may be reimagining of the district. No one wants to see anyone lose jobs, but I'm not charged with that. I don't want to see the children that we serve lose the opportunities of the streamlined resources, the redundancies that are going to be cleared up, and the inefficiencies that may be cleared up by reimagining what our district can be. So maybe I am misunderstood what my charge was. So I'm here to say today that my principals, whom I serve, who I represent, our voices have been valued by Dr. King, who meets with us consistently to listen to the collective voice of principals. She meets those challenges, those questions with directed responses and action. Our concerns about reimagining this district have been carefully inserted in a way where binding decisions can be made. That's what our union does. She is in an impossible situation. She inherited a structural deficit less than 3 months ago, a deficit that this board did not create, that her leadership did not create, nor the school leaders that we serve. None of us created it. The previous CEO left us with no plan to address it. Dr. King was hired to make tough
You have 30
decisions.
seconds remaining.
finding savings and implementing structural changes to ensure resources are streamlined to schools. And as a former principal, she is uniquely qualified to carry out this charge with principals, teachers, and students in mind. The financial reality of CPS right now means Dr. King must make decisions that most of us, including myself, will not like, and neither will she. But these cuts are compelled by the district's finances, not by preference. Few of us would want to be in her shoes right now. So before we criticize, we have to recognize that that is her reality. So instead of spending so much energy on things that we are not solving immediately, we are asking you, how will each of us ensure that we have enough custodians to keep our schools clean and safe? Our Hispanic students, brothers and sisters, are under attack.
Please
Black
conclude your
student
remarks.
success is under attack. How will we build a pipeline that ensures that we recruit and retain qualified educators and specialists to meet the students who have unique needs? And when will each of you actually begin a conversation to identify new revenue and structural budget reform that ensures that each school is adequately funded? So I will leave you here today that our shared mission is to work together to make CPS a stronger district that puts students first. So yes, she inherited a deficit she didn't create. Yes, she was hired to make tough calls. She is qualified to do it, and our union stands strongly beside her as she does it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. The next union rep is Tremaine Reeves, SEIU Local 70 Director of CPS Division, who is joining us virtually. Please enter *6 to unmute.
Good morning, President Hardin, Vice President Bautista, board members, and CEO King. So in the June board meeting, I made a plea for the intervention of the direction established by CPS's Office of Students with Disabilities. That direction was to have a ratio of 12 students with diverse needs for one special education teacher and one special education classroom assistant. This is troubling as there are complaints all over the district from parents, SPED advocates, our SECAs, SPED teachers, and school administrators. Presently, SECAs are forced to choose between leaving 11 students in a classroom in order to safely recall an eloper, or stay with the eloper and hope for the best outcome for the remaining 11 students. That's just one scenario of many extreme scenarios that I've been privy to hear from our SECAs. Administrators' appeals for additional SECAs have gone unfulfilled. Parents are outraged because their child's IEP isn't receiving the same level of attention it was in school years past. And why is this? Because of a philosophy of not causing an over-reliance of support. A philosophy that was not based on cost savings for the district, a philosophy that relies on an outdated state minimum that was last amended in 2009. A philosophy that oversteps into the households of families whose ability to make this decision for their child was abruptly stripped from them. Now that we have moved past the budget vote, this is prime opportunity to focus on this dire situation in special education. Please research the ISB Corrective Action Report submitted in May of 2021, as that is more reflective of the needs of SPED students today than the 2009 Illinois Administrative Code. SEIU Local 73 is calling for the reestablishing of the SPED Advisory Committee, which served as monitoring for the Office of Students with Disabilities, formerly ODLSS, and it has not met since this hybrid board came in. The voices and direct input of parents and SPED advocates must not be silenced, because what we're seeing is the disruption of the quality of learning for SPED students and the workers who support them when this happens. So please, let's put an end to this disruption to the quality of education and unnecessary frustration for the SPED students, their parents, and the staff who support them. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. President Harden, we are now ready to call speakers from the speakers list, and we'll begin with the first group from Epic Academy. Ayumede Olatunji, speaker number 1.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ayomide Olatunji, and I am a senior at Epic Academy. I have been part of this school community for close to 4 years now, and it has shaped not only my education, but who I am as a person today. At Epic Academy, I have been given opportunities that go far beyond the classroom, thanks to the close-knit community we have built. I have created lasting memories, whether in the classroom, where we engage in passionate debates about real-world issues, or in my various clubs where teamwork and leadership was evident. What makes EPIC so special is that our teachers and principals make sure every student is heard and cared for. I stand here today with my fellow seniors, all proud to say that we are EPIC students who look forward to walking across the graduation stage together next year. The thought of a mid-year closure is sincerely devastating, especially for us 57 senior students. Since freshman year, we have worked tirelessly toward the moment of graduation. Right now, we are in the middle of college applications, relying on the support and guidance of our teachers, counselors, and principal, Dr. Matthews, who began our journey as principal the same year we began as freshmen. She has invested so much in us to ensure we make it to graduation day on May 31st, 2026. A mid-year disruption would not only take away our sense of stability, but strip this very moment we have been building toward for 4 years. This impact also extends beyond seniors, however. Freshmen, sophomores, and juniors also deserve to complete the year they have started. Athletes who trained hard in the summer for their sports seasons, drumline band members preparing for school-wide performances, and families who depend on the routines and relationships they have built here. A mid-year closure would fracture that, leaving students and parents with painful uncertainty. Last night, I watched videos of Epic Academy from close to over a decade ago, where former principals, teachers, and graduates spoke about the importance of quality access of education to every student in Chicago. They dreamed that Epic would be a place where generation after generation would succeed. That dream still lives in us today. My classmates and I don't just want to graduate. We want to one day come back as proud alumni who can give back to the same school that has given so much to us.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
So
This
now,
clock is incorrect.
I am asking that you stand with us in this difficult moment. Stand with the 57 seniors who deserve to finish what we started. Stand with the teachers and staff who pour their hearts into us every day. Stand with the EPIC community that has always believed in its students. With your support, we can ensure that not only this year is completed with dignity, but that the future of EPIC remains strong for students yet to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker is Andrew Escalante, speaker number 7.
Good morning, Chicago Board of Ed members. My name is Andrew Escalante, and this is my 8th year teaching at Epic Academy. I've had the privilege of watching our students, CPS students, grow into confident, capable young people. I've seen the way Epic helps students find their voices, whether in the classroom, the soccer field, or board meetings fighting for their school. Just last week, 50 students staged a walk-in at the Epic Board of Directors meeting and spoke about why they didn't want the school to close. Epic is more than just where I work, it's my community. Staff and students were extremely disheartened by the news that Epic would be closing. Students that I've been teaching for years have already begun to transfer to other schools, afraid they will not finish the year. And our seniors, who have worked so hard to reach this milestone, deserve to graduate from their high school. They should not be forced to finish their journey somewhere unfamiliar, especially in the middle of their senior year. That is why I'm asking this board to make sure Epic remains open until the end of the school year. A mid-year closure would be devastating for our community, and our students would lose stability, relationships, and the momentum in their learning. Looking beyond this year, I urge you to consider keeping Epic open long-term. Our community should be kept together, whether it's inside our current building or inside another community like South Shore. I also have questions that deserve answers. CPS just granted Epic a 2-year renewal. How was this approved if Epic did not have the funds to operate? What concrete steps is CPS prepared
You
to
have
take
30
to
seconds
ensure
remaining.
our students and families are not left scrambling if the school closes? And most importantly, how will the board protect the community and our students rely on every day? Our students, families, and staff deserve honest answers and a path forward that honors their hard work. Again, I urge CPS to support Epic to ensure we can remain open until the very end of the school year. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker from Epic is Aurelio Baraja, speaker number 11.
Hello, my name is Aurelio Bracas. I am a 2024 graduate from Epic Academy, and I am currently attending Harold Washington College, planning to transfer to UIC. Without the help of Epic, I don't think I would have made it this far. I'm now in my second year of college, pursuing a degree in education. And the truth is, without Epic, I wouldn't have known which college to attend, or even which major fits me best. Epic wasn't just a school for me during my 4 years of high school. It was a community that brought out the truest version of myself and of my classmates and even the students. Every year, on the first day of school, Epic holds a picnic outside. Students meet new friends, connect with teachers, and even express themselves with music, dancing, but most importantly, smiling. I can't imagine other schools starting their year this way. Most probably jump straight into icebreakers or subject material, with little room for expression, and maybe that's why so many schools around the area have a lower graduation or college acceptance rates compared to Epic. But now we're facing something that can take that all away. Buying a new building was a mistake. If the board knew enrollment was down, then why purchase a new building? Why fix something that isn't broken? Epic was founded by teachers who wanted to prepare students in a neighborhood that lacked high quality options. With that legacy, we should respect it. And this is where I want
You have 30
CPS to
seconds
step
remaining.
in to help us out. We don't know exactly when the school is shutting down, but at the very least, I ask that CPS keeps the school open until the end of the school year to give the senior class a chance to graduate. Even more than that, I beg you to support Epic to keep its doors open, to keep this community together. Closing Epic will hurt our neighborhood. Epic is filled with Black and brown students, and shutting down a school like that damages the reputation of the South Side even more. So I ask you, please keep our community, please support Epic, and most importantly, keep Epic alive.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker from Epic is Octavius Woodley, speaker number 17.
Good morning. I'm Octavius Woodley from Epic Academy. I would like to thank you guys for the opportunity to express my concerns for Epic Academy. Epic has been a family to me. I live 3 minutes away from the Epic School, so I am a part of both communities the students reside in. I understand it is still business at the end. I was told that at the beginning of the school year that we would be renewed for 2 years. Then it went to 1 year, and then went to closing. I ask that you uphold the contract I asked you to uphold the contract which will show the students that they are worth the investment. The staff will continue to provide quality instructions to the students despite the changing circumstances. With the proper backing, we can complete our mission together. I would like to finish my commitment that I started with my kids to provide them with a safe educational environment for them to thrive in. And I would like to thank you once again for taking the opportunity to listen to us all.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker from EPIC is Belém Hernandez, speaker number 20. The speaker had to leave, so we're going to have our Spanish translator go ahead and read the statement in Spanish and then in English.
Buenos días. Soy Belém Hernández y mi hijo Brian es estudiante de Epic Academy. Él va en 10º grado y es un excelente estudiante con notas de A y B. Sé con mucha certeza que los maestros y el personal hacen un excelente trabajo con los estudiantes. Y la razón por la cual yo estoy aquí es para pedir que por favor no cierren nuestra escuela, ya que ha sido por más de 10 años parte de nuestra comunidad. Nos entristece totalmente la noticia, no solo a mí, sino a los estudiantes, al excelente personal de la escuela, que como siempre ha mantenido a nuestros niños seguros y motivados. Nos rompe el corazón la noticia no solo como escuela, sino como parte de la comunidad, ya que crece la incertidumbre de los padres al no saber a dónde irán nuestros hijos y si es que están seguros como en la Academia EPIC. Si es que la decisión no trunca la motivación de nuestros jóvenes para estudiar, ya que nuestra escuela EPIC nos va a unirnos por años como comunidad a todos para construir un futuro más fuerte y unido. Así que les pido humildemente como madre no cerrar la escuela ni separar la comunidad EPIC. Muchas gracias por escucharme. In English. Good morning. My name is Belén Hernández, and my son Brian is a student at Epic Academy. He attends 10th grade and is an excellent student with A's and B's. I know with absolute certainty that the schools and staff members at the school do an excellent job with students. The reason why I'm here is to ask that our school please not be closed. It has been part of our community for 10 years. We are deeply saddened by the news. I speak not only of myself, but also the students and the excellent staff at our school, who, like always, have kept our children safe and motivated. The news shocked us, not only as a school, but also as part of the community. Uncertainty among parents has been increasing, not knowing where our children are going and if they'll be as safe as they are at Epic Academy. If the decision doesn't squelch our children's motivation to learn, it is because Epic has for years united us as a community to build a stronger and more united future. And so as a mother, I ask you humbly not to close the school or separate the Epic community. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. The last speaker from the EPIC Academy group is Valentin Kiano, speaker number 29.
Good morning to everyone attending. I'm introducing myself with my legal name, Aurora Quijano. I'm a senior in high school at Epic Academy, and this is, thus far, the greatest academic disappointment I've been a part of. I will be polite, as I pride myself to be, but no kindness will be found in my words. The time spent at Epic has cracked open the thick shell I had been in before. When I was told by my college careers and skills teacher, a program unique to Epic, in freshman year, that problems with speaking in front of others will dissolve, there has proven to be no lie. Even if not what I had planned, I do not think I would have found the greatest for myself as I have here. Such has been gifted to me for 3 full years with this class. I feel far more prepared for where I choose to step next, even if I remain afraid. That is something I will find nowhere else in the 7th Ward of Chicago, where I live. I had planned for so much more, to even return to the school to help the upcoming youth, and yet now I find myself unable to. In 2013, Chicago made a record of closing 50 schools, the largest in the nation, predominantly in communities of minorities and those of color. Within the following years, students would feel the negative aftershocks of this choice made for them. I do not plan to be part of a record, and I do not plan to be on a list. I have to ask which of you sitting on this board will be affected by the decision for the closing mid-year or after? Which of you live on the south side of Chicago, and who lives in the 7th
We have 30
Ward?
seconds remaining.
Who or whose children will be affected by the loss of a good option where they are limited? And lastly, I ask, should EPIC be closed, where shall the funding go to ensure the bright futures of the youth you are guiding? Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Our next speaker is Wendy Banuelos, speaker number 2.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es estimada doctora King y miembros del Board of Education. Mi nombre es Wendy Bañuelos. Soy ex empleada de la Escuela Pública de Inter-American y madre de 2 ex estudiantes que lamentablemente ya no forman parte de CPS. Y aunque hoy ya no pertenezco al distrito, estoy aquí en nombre de la comunidad de Inter-American, pidiendo justicia. El julio pasado fui desempleada por el director Juan Zayas, con la excusa supuestos recortes presupuestarios. Eso fue una mentira. El propio Network Chief, Dr. Travalos, lo desmintió. Mi despedida no fue por presupuestos, fue por actos de represalia, porque denuncié públicamente las fallas de liderazgo y porque colaboré con la investigación independiente que ustedes mismos solicitaron. Hasta hoy, las represalias continúan. La escuela todavía no ha entregado las transcripciones ni los documentos de transferencia de mis hijos a su colegio. Y a pesar de múltiples peticiones,
Le quedan 30
todavía no
segundos,
lo ha
por favor,
hecho.
concluye.
El punto es que las investigaciones ya concluyeron y los hechos son claros. El señor Juan Carlos Zayas violó el código de escolar carece liderazgo, carece empatía, carece integridad y colaboración. Les pido que hoy, con total firmeza, que remuevan a Juan Carlos Zayas. No tiene nada de justicia y de comunidad.
Gracias por
No
tus
pertenece
comentarios.
a
Por favor,
CPS.
concluye.
Ahora en inglés. Dr. King and members of the board, my name is Wendy Bañuelos, and I am a former employee of Inter-American Magnet School and a mother of 2 students who unfortunately are no longer part of CPS. And even though we are no longer part of the district, I stand here today on behalf of Inter-American community demanding justice. Past July, I was dismissed by Principal Zayas under an excuse of supposed budget cuts. That was a lie. Network Chief Travalos himself confirmed it. that it was false. My dismissal was not about budget. It was retaliation. Retaliation for speaking up public about the failure of leadership and for cooperating with independent investigation that CPS itself requested. To this day, the retaliation continues. The school has still not delivered my children's transcripts or transfer documents despite my repeated requests. What is even more alarming is that Mr. Juan Sayas does not stop the retaliating against adults. He also targets children to those who dare speak out, parents who speak out. That's unacceptable. My family has forced to make the painful but necessary decision to withdraw my children from district because we knew his retaliation would reach them as well. No parent should ever have to choose between their children's education and their safety. Many family at Imes remain silent out of fear that Juan Sayas will retaliate against their children as he has already done. Today, I raise my voice not only for myself and my children, but also for those families who cannot speak. The investigation is complete and the facts are clear. Juan Sayas violated Illinois School Code and his own contract as principal. Lack of leadership, lack of empathy, lack of integrity and collaboration. A leader who rules through threats and lies cannot lead a school and should not lead a school. A committee that lies in fear cannot thrive. Our children deserve safety and safe environment with trustworthy leadership based on respect and justice, not an abuse of power, which is what Sayas does. That is why I firmly ask you today, remove Juan Sayas from Inter-American, from his position immediately. The community has been demanding this change for months, over a year. You have the responsibility and the authority to act. CPS students cannot wait any longer. Thank you for hearing me and for showing through actions, not just words. That the well-being of children and families is a true priority. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. The next group of speakers are regarding special education. Dr. Angel Alvarez, speaker number 3.
Hello, board. As you know, I am Dr. Angel Alvarez. I want to talk about 3 things today: the budget, serving students who are advanced learners for opportunities for accelerated learning, and support for students with disabilities. As difficult as the last budget vote was, I assure you the future budget and finances will be worse. CPS will continue to face declining enrollment for the next decade. I will share with you my report with projections of declining enrollment. Birth rates will continue to fall, and they will occur unevenly throughout the city, seeing the biggest losses on the south and west side. This will exacerbate problems of under-enrollment. Our costs will continue to rise greater than the rate of inflation, particularly for student supports, facilities maintenance, and utility costs. The deficit will continue to increase. Now, I have called for school-level budget reporting, and I will ask this board again to please have those bureaucrats provide past and future school-level budgets, because what we are seeing with EPIC and Acero is the canary in the coal mine. There are deeper problems in CPS, and we need transparency so we can do what's best for our students. Regarding opportunities for advanced instruction, CPS has a policy, but they do not offer sufficient opportunities. I share with you my concerns previously, and new analysis that I will share again will show that only 1 in 5 elementary schools in CPS has
You have
offered
30 seconds
advanced
remaining.
instruction to any student in CPS over the past 6 years. It's only offered to a few hundred students. Despite CPS's equity initiative, Black student applicants are less likely to get it now than they were previously. Support for students with disabilities is another concern. There have been improvements, but we have concerns over SECA positions, cuts, and the placement of them needs to be explained. IEP compliance needs oversight, proper investigation, and transparent reporting. As the newly elected president of the Family Advisory Board for OSD, I will continue to advocate for reforms, and I'll be presenting my concerns at our upcoming meeting. I will present concerns regarding child find, identification, and support services for students with autism. And I
Please
invite you to
conclude
be
your
there on
remarks.
October 16th at 6 p.m. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker regarding special education is Taylor Spencer, speaker number 14.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Taylor Spencer, and I am the parent of a second grade student at South Loop Elementary. My son is autistic, nonverbal, and has an IEP that outlines supports he needs for his safety and learning. Last year in first grade, the school repeatedly failed to implement his IEP despite documentation. He was not consistently provided with the one-on-one paraprofessional that was legally mandated. This placed him in unsafe situations and denied him access to a free and appropriate public education. Now, just weeks into the school year, the same failures are happening again. He has come home with missing items and even missing his AirTag off his body with no accountability. This is not an isolated issue. It is bias-based harm and systemic ableism. Now the school principal, Tara Shelton, has refused to meet to discuss my concerns and has worked with the legal department and Office of Student Disabilities to unilaterally decide to ban me from the school and from advocating for my son. I have asked for help from the chief of OSD, Josh Long, you yourself, CEO King, Catherine Chang, and George Coleman. I am here today to ask the board to intervene. I am requesting immediate enforcement of my son's IEP, including consistent assignment of a one-on-one paraprofessional, oversight to ensure accountability of his daily safety, consideration of a therapeutic day school placement if
You have
his
30
current
seconds
school
remaining.
environment cannot meet his needs, and support in appealing the decision to prevent me from discussing my son's need and advocating for his support. He cannot speak for himself. He depends on me and on this system to protect him, and you all have consistently failed. I am asking the board to hold CPS accountable so that my son does not face another year of neglect and harm. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker regarding special education is Dulce Dominguez, speaker number 26.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Dulce Domínguez, mamá de un niño con autismo y orgullosa miembro del grupo Parents for Education. Estoy aquí como madre, pero también como una voz entre muchas familias que atraviesan situaciones muy similares. Cuando un niño entra al sistema de CPS y necesita servicios de educación especial, comienza un proceso formal de evaluaciones por especialistas. Este proceso determina si el estudiante necesita una IEP o un plan 504. Hasta ahí todo parece funcional en teoría, pero en la práctica muchos de estos servicios no se implementan de forma adecuada, ni responden realmente a las necesidades del estudiante. Padres como yo nos vemos obligados a convertirnos en defensores constantes, pidiendo revisiones, explicaciones, lo obvio y luchando contra el sistema que muchas veces no escucha. La inclusión, que debería ser una experiencia enriquecedora, con frecuencia se convierte en un acto negligente. He visto cómo la falta de apoyo reales dentro de la aula termina afectando profundamente el aprendizaje y la autoestima de los niños. Por eso quiero hacerle un llamado urgente que se revise no solo el estudiante, sino también el personal responsable de implementar estos planes. Así como evaluamos a los niños, deberíamos evaluar la calidad y la efectividad del trabajo de quienes están a cargo de estos servicios. La falta de supervisión permite que errores graves pasen desapercibidos e incluso se
Te
cubran.
quedan 30 segundos, por
Esto
favor.
se suma a
concluye.
la escasez de personal especializado, un problema grave que también necesita atención urgente. Si CPS ofrece los servicios, pero la calidad con la que se brinda deja mucho que desear, y la calidad es realmente lo que marca la diferencia entre un niño que aprende y uno que padece las consecuencias de un sistema deficiente. El trauma que muchos de ellos están viviendo no debería ser parte del sistema educativo. Por eso hoy levanto la voz para pedir cambios reales, estructurales y
Gracias por
sostenibles,
tus
porque
comentarios.
si
Por
no lo
favor,
hacemos
concluye.
ella, seguimos fallando a quienes más nos necesitan. Gracias.
Thank you. We'll now have the statement translated into English.
Good morning. My name is Dulce Dominguez, mother of a child with autism and a proud member of Parents for Education. I am here today as a mother, but also as one of many families who face very similar situations. When a child enters the CPS system requiring special education services, they first have to go through a formal evaluation process executed by specialists. This process determines if the student needs an IEP or 504 plan. Until then, everything seems to work in theory. In reality, many of these services are not implemented properly, nor do they truly respond to the student's needs. Parents like myself are forced to become constant advocates, calling for revisions, stating the obvious, and fighting a system that frequently doesn't listen. Inclusion, which should be an enriching experience, often becomes an act of negligence. I've seen how the lack of real support inside classroom results in deeply negative effects on children's learning and self-esteem. And so I want to make an urgent call to not only examine the students, but also the employees responsible for implementing these plans. Just like we assess the children, we should assess the quality and effectiveness of those in charge of those services. The lack of oversight allows for serious errors to go by unnoticed, and sometimes even get covered up. Adding to this is the lack of specialized personnel, a serious issue that also requires urgent attention. Yes, CPS offers the services, but their quality leaves much to be desired. And quality is what truly marks the difference between a child who learns and one who suffers the consequences of a deficient system. The trauma many of them undergo should not be part of the educational system. And so I raise my voice to ask for real, structural, and sustainable changes. Because if we don't make them now, we'll continue failing those who most need us. Thank you.
Thank you. The last speaker from the special education topic is Yvonne Sanchez, speaker number 30.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Yvonne Sanchez. Some of you already know me and have heard me speak before, but today I stand before you with both gratitude and concern. First, I want to begin by thanking every single person in this community, our teachers, our principals, our parents, our community allies, organizations, and CTU for standing with my Latino community during this vulnerable time, as ICE agents continue to torment our streets with massive raids and violating our human rights. Our families are suffering mentally, emotionally, physically, economically. Many in my community are even afraid to go to work, take their children to school, or even get their basic needs like groceries, out of fear because they don't know if they will be back home. Yet, throughout this darkness, your support has been a light, and I thank you deeply for that. But today, I also want to turn to a recent Chalkbeat report called Chicago Chicago School Board members questioning special education and staffing changes. There are 3 points that I want to highlight. First, I want to thank the board members for listening to the community and asking CPS, the Department of Special Education, for more information. This is a step to the right direction. Second, the article notes that the district uses enrollment data from May and the first
have
day
30
of
seconds remaining?
attendings, deciding to know whether the teachers and the classroom assistants are located. That concerns me a lot, because we have a batch of children from early intervention that don't start school until the first or the last week of August. So they're not taking in consideration these children that are already registered or are already taking consideration that they need IEPs. I'm going to fast forward because my time is, so this is a miscalculation leading to 110 students being misplaced, or in the first 10 days, trying to find locations for these children. Another thing that I wanted to communicate is that the first day of school, these children were promised busing. The children were waiting for their buses, and
Please
they
conclude your
never showed up.
remarks.
So they did not attend at school not because they didn't want to, but because their bus transportation never showed up. So if we're gonna take in consideration, May data and the first day of school, that's a really bad error. So I just wanna point that out, but thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker is Catherine Jones, speaker number 4, who is joining us virtually. Please enter *6 to unmute.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed.
Oh, okay. So, good afternoon. This is Catherine Jones again, LSC, Frederick Douglass High School. Good afternoon, President Hardin and CEO King and distinguished members. I'm calling in once again about local school council. I was calling in to make sure that you all are checking on what Ms. Wanda Hopkins said last month about the advisory board. Some of us do agree with what she said. There are a lot of things, the local school councils are being threatened, our local school councils are being targeted. And I heard a lot on this morning too about a lot of issues that that need to be addressed. And when I call in, I don't call in to try to intimidate anybody or try to throw anybody under the bus, but these things are happening seriously. And if you really want to know about a lot of these things that's going on, call us, the ones that be on the meeting, that knows this, and record the meeting, and you'll get the true aspects of what's going on. I've been an LSC member for over 25 years. I started in the Garfield area with James Deans, and some of you all know Mr. Deans. I started way back with him a long time ago. And we have been trained. We know what to do, how to do, and how to do our jobs and our thing. We have to work together. We are in a crisis. I know you all have a lot on y'all plate. I heard a lot this morning about the art program and all that in the can on. I still say again, Douglass is underutilized. And I'd like to meet
You
with
have
some of
30
y'all,
seconds
Mr.
remaining.
Hardin. Okay, thank you. Mr. Hardin and CEO King, I would really like for you all to meet with Douglass LSC. I am in Georgia right now, but I will be back next month. Had to have family issue here, but I am, like the young lady said, Miss Destiny Singleton, advocacy, you all. That's what it's all about. Advocating for more programs in every public school. Every public school the kids desire a better education. And Douglass is one of those schools. Mr. Hardin and Ms. King, I'd be honored to hear from you all. If you all come and see about what we need at Douglass, what we want, because we are steady advocating for that school. And we need better resources and
Please
come and
conclude
see
your
the
remarks.
community with all the drugs and alcohol on the corner that our kids have to face. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. God bless each and every one of you all. Bye.
Thank you for your comments.
You are.
The next speaker is William Walker, speaker number 6. And this next group is from Perspectives Charter Schools.
Good morning, members of the board. My name is William Walker. Despite what Stacey Davis Gates says, we are not in a failed experiment. I graduated from Perspectives Charter School, and I am now a staff member, restorative coach, and dean. I can say with confidence, Perspectives truly changed my life. From the first days I attended, I learned the disciplined lifestyle and its 26 principles. By learning about these principles and studying them, I was able to better myself and understand myself. These principles have helped me be successful each day at Perspectives. I carry them forward and teach students about the importance of values. I am grateful that I had the opportunity to attend Perspectives and that my family was able to make the choice that Perspectives was able to make the choices that Perspectives gave me. Please continue to make policies and allow parents to choose the large variety of school options. So families can make important decisions about schools will be best for them. Thank you for your time and opportunity.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker is Jessica Covington, speaker number 18.
Good morning. My name is Jessica Covington, and I'm a staff member at Perspectives Charter School, where I have been for over a decade. In that time, I have served as an entrepreneurship teacher and currently as an instructional coach. For over the last 15 years, Perspectives has partnered with an organization called Networking for Teaching Entrepreneurship, which provides us a curriculum that teaches entrepreneurship to our students. That curriculum allows students to learn how to build a business plan and the basic concepts of entrepreneurship and business, and we take those business plans and compete at competition around the city of Chicago. Not only that, teaching entrepreneurship at Perspectives allows our students to become agents of change by identifying problems that they see in the world, but giving them the skills to solve those problems through entrepreneurship. Recently, I had a student who graduated in 2020 come back and talk to our current students about her journey as an entrepreneur. And at the end of her presentation, I picked up my copy of my textbook and I said, "Courtney, do you still have this textbook?" And she laughed and we laughed because she still has the copy that she was not supposed to have. And I asked her, I said, "Courtney, how much money have you made off that book?" She said, "Over $1 million." So the power of entrepreneurship is stretching wide and going beyond the classrooms at Perspectives. We have many students that can speak to the power and the empowerment that that they're learning from the power of entrepreneurship at Perspectives. I'm very proud
You
of
have
the
30
work that we're
seconds
doing
remaining.
at Perspectives when it comes down to entrepreneurship, because we're teaching them to be agents of change, to go out there and be their ancestors' wildest dreams. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker for the Perspectives group is Emmanuel Tillman, speaker number 25.
Good morning, members of the Board of Education. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you all today. My name is Emmanuel Tillman, and I work at Perspectives Charter Schools. I have worked at Perspectives for more than 10 years. During my time at Perspectives, I've been a security guard, a dean, and a basketball coach. I can confidently say that Perspectives is a great school. I have seen the students be successful academically, athletically, and most importantly, in terms of their social, emotional learning. Students leave our schools feeling confident, inspired, and prepared to pursue their dreams for their future. I believe that all parents should be able to choose the school they believe is the best for their child. I ask that the Board of Education continues its work to support students, families, and educators in Chicago. As always, keep parental school choice at the forefront. Thank you for all you do for our city, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. And the last speaker from the Perspectives Charter School group is Terrell Shaw, speaker number 27.
Good morning, members of the Board of Education. Thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to speak with you all today. My name is Terrell Shaw. I'm not only a graduate of Perspectives, but for the past 4 years, I've also had the pleasure of teaching at the Perspectives Leadership Campus. I've been teaching entrepreneurship, app design, as well as working as a technology coordinator. These days, I don't get a lot of sleep. When I look back, I am so grateful that my family enrolled me in Perspectives. My parents chose Perspectives because they believed that it would be the best school possible. It will allow me to learn, to thrive, and achieve my dreams. And that's exactly what Perspectives did for me. It lined me up with an amazing program, a nonprofit, Genesis Works, where I learned my IT skills. These skills have been instrumental not only in my work as an app design teacher, but also as a Perspectives Leadership Campus Technology Coordinator. I am so grateful to have the ability to have chosen Perspectives and for Perspectives for choosing me. Families should have multiple schools to choose from, including charter schools, when they make the enormously personal as well as consequential decision where they send their student. Day after day, students go to school to learn. As the board continues its work, I ask that it continues to support all schools and
You
continues
have
to
30
support
seconds remaining.
parents' school choice. Despite what Stacey Davis Gates says, we are not a failed experiment. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker is Adeline Ogbar, speaker number 8.
Good morning. My name is Adeline Akbor. I'm a parent and a board member at Great Lakes Academy, located in South Shore area. We are a small school in South Chicago, but if you visit, and hope you will see that we are doing big things there. We have created a community space in our neighborhood and have a waiting list at almost every single grade level. Our beautiful building provides a place of neighborhood to gather, and inside our classrooms, there is joyous learning happening. Great Lakes is able to do with our amazing staff and leadership, but it is hard. And as a member of the board, I know that we have had to make hard trade-offs because we are not funded equitably. State law says charters should be getting 97% of what the district is spending on neighborhood schools, students, but we are not. But we make every dollar count. Our students have high AAR scores than the district as a whole. We are 10 percentage points higher in ELA and 3% points higher in math. And our community is 87% low income, while the district as a whole is 76% low income. We also serve a great percentage of students of color than the district. Imagine what we can do if we were truly fully funded.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Our next speaker is Wanda Taylor, speaker number 10.
Hi, good morning. My name is Wanda Taylor, and I'm here today to stand in full support of Pamela Price, the former director of Parent University. She deserves to know that the very parents she fought for are now fighting for her. Many of us only recently learned that Ms. Price was stripped of her title and near elimination of her staff at the start of this school year. This decision was made quietly, without transparency, and it has left us with serious concerns. Additionally, with Ms. Price's staff being nearly eliminated, she is still expected to meet the same performance metrics. That is unreasonable and borderline sabotage. Other programs within her same department haven't had to face the same level of cuts. Why Parent University? From the outside, this does not look like restructuring, it looks like erasure. Ms. Price co-developed Parent University along with Dr. Sean Jackson, current president of Truman College, and she developed the specs for the call center. She cultivated Parent University as a space where families and community, especially those on the west and south sides, felt seen, heard, and empowered. I found out yesterday at the North Lawndale CAC meeting that Parent University is still scheduled to open and be housed in the new Collins or the revamped Collins High School. Who is expected to
You have 30
staff
seconds remaining.
Parent University? Who's going to run it? This is exactly the kind of inconsistency in communication and lack of transparency that erodes trust between CPS and the families it claims to serve. Pamela Price has been a bridge between CPS and parents for decades. She deserves better. And we, the community members and parents, deserve answers. We call on CPS to commit to transparency and equity in departmental restructuring, reinstate Pamela Price as Director of Parent University, and restore the staff and resources to Parent University necessary
Please
for the
conclude your remark.
program to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker is Christina Gian, speaker number 12.
Good afternoon. My name is Christina Guillen, and I hail to you from Atlanta, Georgia. But I was actually born here in Chicago, and looking back over the nation, I have been remiss at what I see. And so seeing the board members, leadership, Dr. King, I'm honored to be here today. And that's what actually caused me to pull up roots and to return to the sanctuary city that birthed me, to bring the skill sets that I developed in one of the blackest cities in America back to Chicago to continue the fight. And so I was very excited when we found our home that all of the elementary schools online show to be IB schools. And as the mother of two E students, which is twice exceptional students, I was excited that they would have their needs be met. Until I went to enroll my children into Smith Elementary, which is my neighborhood school, what I found out, the only school available to them at this current time, because we just moved here 2 weeks ago, and the choice applications, although we completed those, we're on wait list for every other school in our area. Well, my daughter has already completed pre-algebra and is in line to take physical science and algebra 1, where we were informed that no one at Smith can teach that school course because there's no one there certified to do so. So the only option available to me would be to put her in private school to the tune of $24,000 at St. Ignatius. And so I am here today asking for the board to consider different pathways for those who are coming to this city to bring our skill set. I'm honored to be here because my 2 children couldn't have a better mom, because my specialty is in education and in neurotypes. And so to have 2 E students, meaning that they are twice exceptional, both
have 30
gifted and
seconds
highly
remaining.
talented, and also having ADHD and on the spectrum, it is important to me that their needs be met. So I have requested office hours with my board member. I have sent in comments as well. And so I'm hoping to find a way to enroll them so they don't miss any more school, because currently their neighborhood school does not offer the programming that they have. And we are on wait lists at all of the schools in the surrounding areas, but they stated because we were not here the year before to apply for them, we will not make it into their classrooms. And my daughter would then fall behind and therefore not placed in the high schools that she needs to go further. So we have to work together, because I believe in what you're standing for. I came back here because I was so proud to see that what
Please
this
conclude
city is
your
doing
remarks.
in the face of tyranny, in the face of fascism. And I want to be an advocate and support to finding solution, because that's what I'm here for. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker is Dr. David Lewis, speaker number 13.
Good afternoon, board members and Superintendent King. My name is David Lewis. I'm the principal of CICS Wrightwood, and I've been the principal there for close to 10 years. At our school, we service children of color. We have 98% of our children who are students of color. 90% of them receive free and reduced lunch, and we are in the Auburn Wrightwood neighborhood. A few weeks ago, we had the pleasure of having board member Dr. Smith visit our school, and great things are happening at Wrightwood, and I invite all of you to take an opportunity to come and see us. I'm here to discuss 2 important matters for us with you today. First is that charter schools have never been funded equally. The law actually gives permission to CPS to fund us at only 97% of what district students receive, but CPS funds us at an even lower rate, taking another 3% for admin fees and more long-term pension costs and other holdbacks. This means that we are not allowed to do the things we'd like to do for programming, after-school programming, before-school programming, supporting our parents and our families. And it says to us or sends a message that we are not as important as other schools, or our children is not as important as other students in the district. The second thing is we would like to have you consider looking at how GoCPS is operated. GoCPS, as we know, opened yesterday, and importantly, GoCPS does not provide families with complete transparency about schools around them. As an
You have 30
elementary
seconds
school,
remaining.
families don't go through the system to enroll their students, but we know that GoCPS is a first stop for families as they think about where to send their child. Charter schools are hidden on the system, especially on GoCPS, a school locator, which puts us at the very bottom of the locator, and it's hard for families to identify us even if we are in their districts. We ask that you address these issues. We would like to know that we could partner with you in making a change and ensure that all students are funded equitably and receive the same considerations. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker is Derek Harris, speaker number 15.
Good afternoon. I'm going to preface my remarks by saying that if you want to understand any problem in America, you need to focus on who profits from that problem, not who suffers from the problem. I have been trying to speak before this august body since August 19th, 2025, during the budget hearing deliberations. I haven't been to a board meeting since Rufus Williams was the president. I was shocked beyond belief when I stepped into this room and I saw the composition of this elected school board. I fought for meaningful parental involvement and local community control of schools for years. This is not what I imagined. What I see is a compendium of special interest, political hacks, and egomaniacs. Back to the budget issue. This body approved a $10.25 billion budget with a $700 million deficit. There was no discussion about theft, fraud, or gross mismanagement. I didn't understand that.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
Any comments that I cannot address in this body, I will deal with the U.S. Secretary of Education. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. The next group of speakers are from Noble Schools, beginning with Darko Shimunovich, speaker number 16.
Right. Good morning, President Hardin, members of the board, and Dr. King. Thank you for your opportunity to speak today, and also just want to personally thank many of you who have come to our schools across the last couple of months, and definitely would wish more of you will come as well. My name is Darko Shimunovich, and I'm currently the Chief Operating Officer at Noble Schools, and one of the functions that I oversee is enrollment. So as we start the GoCPS window this week, my team and I are here to raise concerns around the full GoCPS process and the lack of transparency on how both enrollment offers are made to families and then how we are seen on the actual EnrollWise website. So there are three main concerns around GoCPS that we want to collectively address today. The first one is the current map school location software on the GoCPS portal that another one of our colleagues talked about today. The second one is the placement of Noble Schools in EnrollWise. And then last but not least, the communication regarding application to offer ratios for charter schools versus district schools. So first, the current mapping system, like you heard already, does not work in favor of charter schools. Instead, it actually favors district-run schools. While we are not district-run schools, we still consider ourselves neighborhood options for schools for every single family, and we believe the search engines should utilize actual proximity to the home address rather than favoring the CPS district schools first. For example, when we enter the actual address for one of our schools, in each instance, CPS district schools come up first as the option, even though it may actually be much
You have
farther
30
away
seconds
from the
remaining.
actual home address of the family. Mushin College Prep, as an example, is located at 1 North State Street, right down the street from here. When we enter that address in the search engine, the first school to show up is Phillips, a school that is 4 miles away, and then Mushin comes up as a second option. We do not believe that this is acceptable as it favors CPS district-run schools and does not provide an honest portrayal of the closest school to families. Our request today is simple. Please modify the process to allow Go CPS School Locator to function as it was actually intended, to provide a list of all schools closest to a specific home address without favoring CPS district-run schools over CPS charter schools.
Please
Failing
conclude
to
your
do
remarks.
so is misleading to Chicago families. Thank you again, and we welcome having you at any one of our schools.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker regarding Noble Schools is Robert Amy, speaker number 22.
Afternoon, President Harden, members of the board, and Dr. King. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Robert Amy. I currently serve as the Director of Network Operations with Noble Schools. As we begin GoCPS this week, my team and I are here to raise concerns regarding the full GoCPS process and the lack of transparency regarding how enrollment offers are made to families. You've already heard from my colleague to address the MAP location software, and I would like to discuss the significance of school ranking. When logging in, students must select between 3 options. 1, guaranteed offers programs, choice high school programs, and 3rd, selective enrollment programs. Charter schools do not appear under the guaranteed offer programs, even though we can guarantee an offer up to our capacity, just like any CPS district-run school. We do not test any of our students for enrollment, nor are we allowed to as a public school. Yet, we only appear under choice high school programs, where it indicates that a high school admission test will be administered. This is false and could deter families from choosing a charter school. This must be changed this year because it is presented as misinformation being as presented for families. When a student selects a guaranteed offer program, only the district-run CPS schools will be displayed, rather than the closest school to the family's address. In the example that my colleague gave earlier, a student whose home address is 1 North State would only see Phillips High School, an option that is 4 miles away
You have 30
versus
seconds
the
remaining.
campus Mushin College Prep, which is closer. If families choose choice high school programs, they are asked to rank up to 20 schools. When they browse for schools and enter their school address, they still only see district-run school options as the closest. Our request today is simple. If we are going to continue using the GoCPS application, we must have a level playing field with other schools. Currently, it is not fair to charter schools, and this information is simply inaccurate, painting a misleading picture to families who are trying to make an informed decision. Thank you for your urgent attention to this matter.
Thank you for your comments. The last speaker from the Noble Schools Group is Claudia Rodriguez, speaker number 24.
Good morning, President Harden, members of the board, and Dr. King. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today this morning. My name is Claudia Rodriguez, a Chicago resident, a Chicago Public Schools graduate, and current Chief of Public Affairs for Noble Schools. As we begin the GoCPS window this week, my team and I are here to raise concerns about the full GoCPS process. Specifically, I would like to discuss the algorithm used to extend offers to students after they have submitted their applications. Since the inception of GoCPS, we have asked for transparency and clarity on how offers are made to families. Recently, we heard from our partners at CPS district-run schools have significantly higher application to offer conversion rates than charter schools, as CPS district-run schools are often considered neighborhood schools. We request that we be provided with the algorithm used to generate these offers. Additionally, we will submit a request for the past 2 years for every Noble school and CPS district school to assess the application and offer conversion rates. We hope that you will share that data at your earliest convenience, so we can continue to ensure that families can make informed and equitable decisions about one of the most important aspects of their students' education. In closing, like my colleagues have stated, we are making 3 asks of the board today. 1, update the current MAP school location software on the GoCPS portal to display an accurate representation of schools available and closest to families based on their home address, regardless of school type. 2, allow charter schools to appear under the guaranteed offer programs during the school rankings process on the GoCPS portal. Communication about the importance of school rankings should be prominently
30 seconds
featured
remaining.
on the website. 3, share how the GoCPS algorithm works and the data offer ratios for charter schools versus district schools for the last 2 GoCPS cycles. Thank you for your urgent attention to this matter, and we look forward to working with you to make GoCPS more transparent, equitable, and family-friendly. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker is Karen Allen, speaker number 23, who is joining us virtually. Please enter *6 to unmute.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Master Sergeant Karen Allen, United States Air Force retired. Until August 15th of this year, I proudly served as the Senior Aerospace Science Instructor at Air Force Academy High School in Chicago, which is the only Air Force Junior ROTC program in Chicago. However, on August 11th, that program was deactivated. This was not due to lack of student interest, poor performance, Air Force funding cuts, nor was it Air Force's will to close the program. This was a result of CPS Department of JROT's failure to comply with federally required compliance policies, despite already having a memorandum of agreement signed by the then CEO of CPS, agreeing to the outlined disenrollment policy. Despite multiple deadlines, multiple warnings, and multiple extensions granted by the Air Force, the ROTC department still missed the deadline. Instead of working with me, the subject matter expert, to meet compliance, my proposed solution, which was agreed to by the Air Force, was repeatedly rejected by CPS. Ultimately, CPS, Department of JROTC, missed every deadline. And the result, Chicago students, hundreds of them, just lost a unique pathway to opportunity. Air Force JROTC offers more than just drill and ceremony. It provides a flight academy, which students compete nationally to earn an 8-week fully funded summer program.
You have
They're
30
missing out on
seconds remaining.
the J100 Character and Leadership Scholarship, a full 4-year scholarship, the Air Force ROTC High School Scholarship Program, leadership and STEM opportunities, advanced enlistment opportunities. All of this is gone. Chicago the JROTC program at Air Force Academy High School was the only military academy in the nation, not to mention the only Air Force program in the city of Chicago. Now there is no Air Force program in the city of Chicago at all. And I must stress this was preventable.
Conclude your remarks.
I asked the board to acknowledge this gap, explore options to bring the program back, and to provide transparency on what happened. We need to know how this happened and who is being held accountable, other than myself, who is now unemployed, and the other instructor that was there with me. I beg the board to get to the bottom of this and find out what happened. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. And our last speaker is Kristen Heileman, speaker number 28, who is joining us virtually. Please enter *6 to unmute.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of Hagen School and our school community. My name is Kristen Heileman. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Hagen Elementary School and an Albany Park resident. In my 9 years at Hagen, I have watched our school grow from having 3 or 4 homerooms for pre-K through 6 to having 4 or 5 homerooms for pre-K through 8. Our neighborhood students are choosing Hagen, and our school is growing rapidly. As I am sure you are aware, a neighborhood school is not allowed to turn residents within their boundaries away. This has forced some of our youngest students to be packed in a room like sardines, as myself and my monolingual counterpart each have 29 students in our kindergarten classrooms. Our bilingual first grade rooms are also overcrowded. We desperately need a 5th homeroom for both grade levels. However, physically, we don't have space for one, let alone both. Our space issue is affecting how we are able to provide specialized services and care, as our 16-member leadership team has been forced to take over our former library as an office. Clinicians and MTSS provide services in the hallways, and there is no available classroom for our art teachers, so they are teaching from a cart. There is a school down the block across the street from my house that has an entirely vacant 3rd floor. We are requesting the support of the board on our appeal to co-locate our middle school in this nearby building that, I would like to note, was originally designed to be a middle school for the Hagen school community. By supporting this proposal, you are ensuring all available resources in our community
You have 30
directly
seconds
support
remaining.
our community students. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you for your comments. President Harden, this concludes public participation.
Thank you. Board members, do you have any questions or comments related to public participation?
I really appreciate the EPIC school community testimonies today and the smoke they've brought to the board. I ask that they continue to share that smoke with their state legislators, with the EPIC community as well, because this is a shared responsibility. I think this board has proven that we love and care for all Chicago Public School children. We have revived some of the schools that were let down by charter school systems. We've also shortened renewal dates for schools because some trust has been broken in this community. So I just want to remind all charter schools that are looking to have improvements made that we are not the last stop, but we are fully willing to join you in having all your needs met. Thank you so much for your representation, and we care.
Member Lopez.
Thank you, Board President. Thank you for everyone who participated in public comment, especially the students. Your voices matter. Also want to thank the various schools from community schools to charter schools that have opened their doors for me to visit them in the last month and a half of the new school year. Thank you for the conversations, the honesty, and also including difficult conversations that we have had. Also, I want to say earlier this month, I had the opportunity to attend a portion of the Family Advisory Board meeting. I want to thank Secretary and past President Luis Narvaez for his invitation and for the thoughtful conversation. I also had the privilege of attending the Chicago Multilingual Parent Council, which for many of you who might not know, which plays a critical role in advising the district on the development, implementation, and evaluation of bilingual education. The voices of those parents and families in those spaces like FAB or CMPC remind us how important it is to participate. So thank you to those parents for their time. And lastly, I want to address what board member also Barry mentioned. You know, it is beyond disappointing to once again see a community impacted by the abrupt closure of a charter school. We know it's not an isolated issue. It seems to be a recurring one. It is clear the process needs to be revisited because here we are, again, hearing students that don't know if they're going to be graduating in their building at the end of the school year. During the renewal process, we heard from stakeholders, including the charter operator's own board, advocating strongly for continuation. Fast forward, and we find ourselves here. The disconnect must be acknowledged and addressed with all different parties involved to identify solutions to make this process better for everyone and more transparent. Thank you.
Member Smith.
Yes, I want to thank all of the students of EPIC that came and presented. I know to speak in front of an audience like this is not easy, and you all did it with courage and grace. So I want to thank those students for their courage. EPIC is a school in the 10th district, and I visited that school many times. And one of the things I love most about EPIC is that out of all the schools in the district, they're meeting their 5 essentials. That's one of the best schools in the district. Not only is it one of the best teaching and learning schools in the district, that school, I don't know if you saw the students, it's 50% Hispanic, 50% Black. That's cultural immersion. That's what charter schools said they would do. They would innovate in ways that district schools could learn from. I do want to correct some misnomers. Charter schools are CPS schools. Charter school children are CPS children. We are helping to pay the bill. We expect the result as well. So, you know, I know that some of the things that we heard around the closing is not what I had been seeing on my multiple visits to Epic, some of their issues are historic harms, how they're placed on the CPS Go site. That matters. There's only so many students in the district, just to, not to prolong it, but there are only so many students in the district, and Epic is not presented as a choice of school in that district where parents can see, even though it's closer and it has better outcomes. So I support the Principal Matthews. I support Epic. I will be looking deeper into it and communicating with other board members who have expressed concern about this issue so we can all approach it collaboratively. Thank you for your courage.
Member Bannon.
I just wanted to follow up on a speaker from Local 73, SEIU Local 73, about the incoming or the ongoing in-housing of the custodians. Just want to let our union partners know and the board members know I've done some preliminary follow-up on some of those concerns and met with CPS staff. CPS staff, I think, is doing a really admirable, constructive job of addressing some of those concerns. And I think they're going to do a presentation at the next meeting. I'm sorry, I'm just announcing this in front of everybody because we don't often get a chance to speak as one. So, and I think there'll be an upcoming resolution about this matter that I'll be distributing very soon, and welcome all your feedback and participation. And once again, I just wanted to compliment the constructive participation of the Talent Office of Labor Relations and the Law Department in responding to those concerns. And I think it's going to be a more transparency for us as board members to know that schools are clean in this transition period. And I think that's going to be a great thing for us in the schools. Thank you.
Member Zachor.
Thank you, President Harden. I also wanted to address the situation at Epic, and of course, thank you to the people from the Epic community for coming out here to speak to us. A number of people raised the issue that, we just voted for renewal, and now here the school is saying they can't afford to continue. How could that happen so quickly? And I do think that's a huge concern. And it's not like we didn't raise some questions. We could see the math all the way back in March when we were talking about it, and Epic had lost about 52% of enrollment over just a few years. And I know I asked, well, how are we comparing, the financial situation with the minimal number of students needed in order for a school to continue? And I was told, yes, all that gets looked at. But now here we are. So I do think the call for a more precise scrutiny of finances is a call that we really need to follow up on. And I also want to address the community's call for keeping their school community together. It's also what Acero families and staff have asked for, and it doesn't seem like that is strictly what has happened. We here at CPS, we need to think beyond how we usually do things in these situations and work with communities on how they can be kept whole. In particular, if there's a solution that would not cost money, as perhaps moving an entire school body into another building would not cost money. We talk a lot about building more trust in CPS, about making sure our schools are truly serving all our families, about how we can increase enrollment. And this is how, really, by thinking outside the box and working with families in a true problem-solving manner. At least one of the speakers addressed that families are not feeling confident now about what will happen to Epic, and some are already leaving the school. So if we can do a better job at being transparent and collaborative, families will have more trust in CPS, and this kind of exodus is less likely to happen.
Member Blaze.
I'd just like to tell Board Member Smith that thank you for the insight about what a great school Epic was. We had to learn that as well when the Acero information was coming into me. Our understanding was they were all under enrolled. There was no way to save them. There was nothing we could do. But I'm happy to get down with you. Like, I know the Seventh Ward needs great schools. The kids today were super impressive. Um, and the whole senior year thing really got to me, to be honest with you, because that's heavy for a kid to just show up at another school and now they're graduating with a bunch of kids who've been together for 4 years and they don't know who they are. So, or, they haven't made those bonds. So I'm ready to roll when you are on the EPIC situation. The Air Force Academy, I would really like some answers as to how we lost that. That sounds like a star in our portfolio. I am a pilot. Ask somebody. This sounds like a critical program and I'd love to hear who dropped the ball on that one. And then I would also just like to send shout outs to the West Side. Yesterday was a busy day. We had the North Lawndale CAC and the portfolio folks came out to Austin High School, and it was just a collection of community members trying to do all of the things that we want community to do, to really think comprehensively about getting folks into the grammar schools, but also encouraging them to go to the high schools, to stay on the West Side, to invest in their communities. The CPS is investing into those schools. So you can see the changes, you can see the attitudes from the school leadership and even just the school leadership themselves. They feel inspired because their schools have investment. And so just big shout out to the West Side. And then I'm curious about the EPIC buying a building. If we are to give them money, or we do have to compensate them to stay open for a little while longer, can we get any of the proceeds from the sale of that building? I'm interested to know how all that works. I know it's probably a big economic conversation, but if someone can explain that to me, that would be great. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Member Rosenfeld.
Yeah, I also want to say to the 55,000 charter school students, including the ones from EPIC, that were here today, you are not a failed experiment. That is true. We at the board, as you can tell by all of our voices, are committed to figuring this out. We've been in our seats now for 9 months and started with charter renewals. So looking forward to a committee where we can sit down and really figure out what's going on here and provide those 55,000 students and all the others that are interested in school choice. We're a portfolio district, that opportunity. And then just second, I need to say that Parent University is straight up my heart. It's a priority to me. To Wanda Taylor, thank you for highlighting what's going on there. And with Pamela Price, I'm committed and I promise to dig deeper into Parent University, see what's happening there, how we can do better by our families at Parent University, see what happened at Michelle Clark, one of the best PUs in the entire district. So we'll be back to you with that information.
Member Singleton.
Yeah, I also want to speak about EPIC because as a senior myself, I couldn't fathom leaving my school and leaving my friends and leaving my teachers and having to graduate with people I don't know. So that really stuck with me. And additionally, the student who said that she won't be another name on a list, that also stuck with me because as a person of color, I feel like that's a thing that we are often told. And I hope that that person knows that she will not be another name on a list. And for the Go CPS issue, looking back to when I applied for high school, I recognized that charter schools weren't recognized as much on the website compared to other schools. So I really hope that issue can be rectified.
Member Pohl.
Yes, I wanted to speak a little bit about the situation with Hagen Elementary School. Hagen is in many ways an exemplary elementary school. It serves a tremendously diverse community with a very large number of English language learners who are speakers of multiple different languages. The school has grown and thrived and is in an affordable community where very many CPS families live. And I do hope that we can find a way, whether it's co-locating space with North River in the former Hagen Charter Building or whatever it does turn out to be, to allow Hagen to have the facilities that they need to educate the students in their community. I'm going out to meet with the Hagen LSC soon, and I look forward to working with them, possibly with Dr. Carmona and others, on how to best accommodate everyone's needs. Thank you.
Member Gutierrez.
Yeah, I also want to thank everyone who came out today to speak, especially all the students, to hear your voice, know that we are listening here. A couple of things I think that we'd like some further action on. One is, I think, as Board Member Singleton highlighted, right? Something seems to be off with Go CPS, and being able to try to figure out what that is and how we can get the end user, ultimately families, to be able to access the full portfolio of CPS would be great. In the midst of talking, the issues, the financial issues with Epic, I think Dr. Alvarez brought up a good point as well in his comment, right? We need budgeting information on all schools, right? Because there are different funding models by which CPS local schools are funded versus those of a charter operator. So wanting to make sure that we're getting all that financial information too. And then I also want to echo Debbie's point. I think Hagen has come to this board over the course of the last 9 months, maybe 3 times, to talk about the same thing. And I think it's time to get the ball rolling to figure out what solution for that particular community can be, especially if there is a option not right down the street. So those are my comments.
Member Brown.
I also want to thank everyone that came out today. Particularly moved by the world language presentation, and also dreading young people and parents having to fight for their existence in the Epic situation. I think we fail as a district when we put people in those situations. I am not an anti-charter school ideologue. I know that there are some great charter schools. But I do believe that there is a charter industry, and that charter industry has had an impact on our communities, and it has not been a positive one. The notion of charter schools or charter school operators abandoning those children and families in the middle of the year is not a local issue. It is a national issue in Florida, Texas, all over this country, Ohio. If you doubt me, look for this blog called Another Day, Another Charter School Scandal, sponsored by the Network for Public Education. And you'll see a laundry list of these operators who operate that way. That is not the fault of the teachers in those schools. That is not the fault of the children. It is the fault of a country that ignored inequity and went towards this model that said that people just need more schools instead of communities actually being able to choose what happens in the school. And so now we have a district really with too many schools. And so I think it's going to take some courageous conversations, and I know what's going to happen next year. Those interests, like the Commercial Club of Chicago, which facilitated the closure of over 160 schools in this city, 88% of them in Black communities. And see, when I say that with pain. And I would feel that same pain if those schools were being closed in Edgewater, if those schools were being closed in Pilsen. And I know that that same commitment is not shared when those schools hit Black communities. And I want to say that. I think it's very important that we prepare next year to make sure that we're not sitting up using privatizers' language, like we got to make tough decisions when their children aren't the ones that are impacted. The privatization movement has an ideology. They have talking points. I know them well. And And I commit to making sure that when I hear them, I'm going to call them out. So we've as Board Member Ebony said, we've made some, when we got on this board and we saw the contracts for charter schools with no accountability in them, just like the Wild Wild West, come do whatever you want. I commend this board for having the courage to begin to change that. This is a yeoman's job. It's a yeoman's job. And, but we have to be committed to, you know, being honest and telling the truth about what's happened in this city. And that you know, I'm not talking like that because I like hearing myself talk. I'm talking like that because I don't know if we all understand the history and the trauma that has happened in this city. And for me, no human being's pain is negotiable. None of it is palatable. And last thing I want to say is I'm going to humbly ask our Chief of Staff, Faye, if you could please connect with President Banks and make sure that I have a meeting with her ASAP, if that's okay, because I do know that she's been asking, and I respect that, so I wanted to make that point. Thank you very much.
Member Rivas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to respond on the lack of accountability piece that Member Brown said, I believe our General Counsel and I would disagree that our contracts don't have accountability in them for our charter operators. I'd just like to be able to get information regarding the fee structure that we charge our operators in terms of the 3% administrative fee. I've met with a few that are struggling as it relates to the Go CPS issue even last year. And so, you know, enrollment is not where they'd like it to be. So that leads obviously to less funds going to those schools, and it's a distressing financial situation. I also believe that we're charging these operators a per student pension contribution that's separate from the employer pension contribution and the teacher pension contribution. And so I'd like to understand more about that. Some documents that I've reviewed with operators has been that they're losing nearly $3,000 per student in these contracts, right? And so when you'd have $3,000 per student times 400 students or so, that's a lot of money that you know, these operators are struggling with. And we struggle with the same, right? We're losing our $800 million a year just in debt service, and we're in our city double paying into the pensions when, you know, we have our own pension fund, and yet we're also, you know, supporting the TRS system for the full state. And so I'd just like more information on how we can support to ensure that we're not setting up these financial situations for these schools, for our 55,000 plus students. We are a portfolio district, as Member Rosenfeld said. We have lots of options. I'm very privileged to have graduated from CPS and very privileged to have had the opportunity to go to the high school that I went to. And I want to ensure that our families continue to have those opportunities across our city. Thank you.
The issue of Go CPS continues to be a theme that has been presented to the board several times. So, Dr. King, is it possible for you to make this a priority so that we can take this off the agenda and it doesn't continue to be an issue? We don't want to be unwittingly contributing to any of the hardships of the charters based on access. And so if we can make this a priority, that would be great. We'll now move into a short recess. Board Member Lopez, do you have motion MO1?
I move that the board take a 30-minute recess.
I
Is there a
second the
second?
motion.
Thank you. I'll proceed with a roll call. Member Lozano?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Aye.
Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Velez?
Yes.
Member Boyle?
Yes.
Member Wallace?
Aye.
Member Custer?
Aye.
Member Pope?
Yes.
Member Rosenfeld?
Yes.
Member Rivas?
Yes.
Member Brown?
Yes.
Member Rio Sierra?
Aye.
Member Bannon?
Aye.
Member Gutierrez?
Aye.
Member Biggs?
Yes.
Member Blaze?
Aye.
Member Zachor?
Yes.
Member DeBerry?
Aye.
Vice President Bautista?
Yes.
Thank you. 19 ayes, 0 nays. This motion is adopted by the board. This meeting will now go into a 30-minute recess.
Dr. Glass, I see you back there. Dr. Glass?
The meeting of the Board of Education is reconvened. Board members will now open the floor for questions or comments on items on the public agenda. I'd like to note that the following public agenda items: PR2, amend board report 240425, PR3, authorize a new agreement with Ombudsman Educational Services Limited and Pathways in Education Illinois for alternative learning opportunities. AR7, authorize continued retention of outside counsel. There will be separate votes taken after RS5, so you can provide your questions and comments for those items before we proceed with separate votes. Are there any comments or questions on other agenda items that you wish to be moved from consent as a separate vote? If not, we'll proceed to vote on public agenda items. Board Secretary, please proceed.
Thank you, President Harden. I'll proceed with the items on the public agenda, read the board report numbers and brief titles. I believe Board Member Lozano has motion MO2 regarding record of proceedings.
I move that the record of proceedings of the Agenda Review Committee meeting August 13, 2025, and board meeting of August 28, 2025, prepared by the board secretary be approved, and that such records of proceedings be posted on the Chicago Board of Education website in accordance with Section 206B of the Open Meetings Act.
Is there a second?
I second.
I'll proceed with a roll call. Member Lozano?
Yes.
Member Smith? No, not here. Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Velez?
Yes.
Member Boyle?
Yes.
Member Wallace?
Aye.
Member Custer?
Aye.
Member Pope?
Yes.
Member Rosenfeld?
Yes.
Member Rivas?
Yes.
Member Brown?
Yes.
Member Rio Sierra?
Aye.
Member Bannon?
Aye.
Member Gutierrez?
Aye.
Member Biggs?
Yes.
Member Blaze?
Aye.
Member Zakor?
Yes.
Member DeBerry?
Aye.
Vice President Bautista?
Yes.
Member Smith? Voting on the motion for a record of proceeding.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Thank you. 19 ayes, 0 nays. This motion is adopted by the board. President Harden, I'll continue with items that do require a vote. RS1, resolution to request the PBC to transfer title of real estate for various school sites to the city of Chicago. RS2, resolution authorize appointment of members to LSCs to fill vacancies. RS3, resolution Ray, appointment of chairperson for the LSC AB for the current term of office. PO1, amend policy on auditor independence and provision of consulting services. President Harden, this amendment is necessary to update language and processes. I'll continue with PO2, amend policy on imposition of charges on return payments. President Harden, this amendment is necessary to recommend schools follow instructions on return checks as defined in the school business and internal accounts manual. I'll continue with PO3, amend pay time off policy. President Harden, this amendment is necessary to include new paid sick and paid leave carryover rules and entitlements for covered employees. I'll continue with EX1, transfer of funds. EX2, ratify the fifth final option to renew the intergovernmental agreement with the Department of Family and Support Services. EX3, ratify the fourth final option to renew the intergovernmental agreement with the Department of Family and Support Services. PR1, authorize the first final renewal agreement with School Links, Inc. PR3, authorize the first and second final renewal agreement with Ombudsman Educational Services Limited and Pathways in Education, Illinois. PR4, authorize the first and second final renewal agreement with various vendors for cost estimating services. PR5, report on the award of construction contracts and changes to construction contracts for the capital improvement program. PR6, authorize the second renewal agreement with Apple Inc. PR7, Authorize the second and final renewal agreement with Accurate Biometrics, Inc. President Harden, these items do require a vote.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
I'll proceed with a roll call. Member Lozano?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Aye.
Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Velez?
Yes.
Member Boyle?
Yes.
Member Wallace?
Aye.
Member Custer?
Aye.
Member Pope?
Yes.
Member Rosenfeld?
Yes.
Member Rivas?
Yes.
Member Brown? Member Rio Sierra?
Aye.
Member Bannon?
Aye.
Member Gutierrez?
Aye.
Member Biggs?
Yes.
Member Blaze?
Aye.
Member Zakor?
Yes.
Member DeBerry?
Aye.
Vice President Bautista?
Yes.
19 ayes, 0 nays. These matters are adopted by the board. President Harden, I'll continue with additional items on the public agenda that do not require a vote. PR 8, Chief Procurement Officer Delegation of Authority Report for July 2025 and Chief Financial Officer Report for July 2025. EX4, Report on Principal Contracts New. EX5, Report on Principal Contracts Renewals. AR1, Report on Board Report Rescissions. President Harden, these items just need to be accepted by the board.
Please mark received and filed.
President Harden, I'll continue with items from the Acting General Counsel that do require a vote. AR2, amend continued retention of various outside counsel law firms. President Harden, this amendment is necessary to increase spending authority and adding one outside counsel law firm. For the record, I would like to note an abstention for Board Member Gutierrez for the following law firms on AR2: Burke, Warren, McKay, and Saratella. PC, Meyer Brown LLP, and Greenberg Trower LLP. I'll continue with AR3, approve payment of proposed settlement regarding John Doe. AR4, approve payment of proposed settlement regarding Eric Lexcano. AR5, property tax appeal refund, authorized settlement for 840 North Lakeshore Drive Condo Association. AR6, property tax appeal refund, authorized settlement for the Legacy at Millennium Park Condo Association. President Harden, these items do require a vote.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
I'll proceed with a roll call with the noted abstentions for Board Member Gutierrez and law firms on AR2. Member Lozano?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Aye.
Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Velez?
Yes.
Member Boyle?
Yes.
Member Wallace?
Aye.
Member Custer?
Aye.
Member Pope?
Yes.
Member Rosenfeld?
Yes.
Member Rivas?
Yes.
Member Brown?
Yes.
Member Rio Sierra?
Aye.
Member Bannon?
Aye.
Member Gutierrez, again with the noted abstention on the law firms on AR2.
Aye.
Member Biggs?
Yes.
Member Blaze?
Aye.
Member Zakor?
Yes.
Member DeBerry?
Aye.
Vice President Bautista?
Yes.
Thank you. 19 ayes, 0 nays. These matters are adopted by the board. President Harden, I'll continue with items from the interim superintendent chief executive officer that do require a vote. EX6, approve and ratify tentative interim collective bargaining agreement between the Board of Education and the Service Employees International Union Local 1. EX7, warning resolution, Katina Woods, tenured teacher at Dunbar Career Academy High School. President Harden, these items do require a vote.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Thank you. I'll proceed with a roll call. Member Lozano?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Velez?
Yes.
Member Boyle?
Yes.
Member Wallace?
Aye.
Member Custer?
Aye.
Member Pope?
Yes.
Member Rosenfeld?
Yes.
Member Rivas?
Yes.
Member Brown? Member Rio Sierra?
Aye.
Member Bannon?
Aye.
Member Gutierrez?
Aye.
Member Biggs?
Yes.
Member Blaze?
Aye.
Member Zakor?
Yes.
Member DeBerry?
Aye.
Vice President Bautista?
Yes.
19 ayes, 0 nays. These matters are adopted by the board. President Harden, I'll continue with items from the board that do require a vote. RS4, resolution approving interim superintendent chief executive officer's recommendation to dismiss educational support personnel. RS5, resolution approving interim superintendent chief executive officer's recommendation to dismiss probationary appointed teachers. President Harden, these items do require a vote.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Thank you. I'll proceed with a roll call. Member Lozano?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Aye.
Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Velez?
Yes.
Member Boyle?
Yes.
Member Wallace?
Aye.
Member Custer?
Aye.
Member Pope?
Yes.
Member Rosenfeld?
Yes.
Member Rivas?
Yes.
Member Brown?
Yes.
The vote was yes, in case the court reporter didn't hear that. Member Rio Sierra?
Aye.
Member Bannon?
Aye.
Member Gutierrez?
Aye.
Member Biggs?
Yes.
Member Blaze?
Aye.
Member Zakor?
Yes.
Member DeBerry?
Aye.
Vice President Bautista?
Yes.
19 ayes, 0 nays. These matters are adopted by the board. I do want to note for the record that Board Member Thodakura has joined the meeting at 2:20 p.m. Thank you. President Harden will now proceed with the separate votes. As noted earlier, with a separate vote on PR2, amend Board Report 240425, PR3, authorize a new agreement with Ombudsman Educational Services Limited and Pathways in Education Illinois for alternative learning opportunities program services. President Harden, this amendment is necessary to increase the spend authority. This item does require a vote.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We'll open this matter up for discussion before going to a roll call vote. Are there any comments or? Member Blaze? No. There being no comments?
I'll proceed with a roll call vote on PR2. Member Lozano?
Abstain.
Member Smith?
No.
Member Lopez?
Abstain.
Member Velez?
Yes.
Member Boyle?
Yes.
Member Wallace?
Yes.
Member Custer?
Aye.
Member Pope?
Yes.
Member Rosenfeld?
Yes.
Member Rivas?
Yes.
Member Brown?
Yes.
Member Rio Sierra?
Aye.
Member Bannon?
Aye.
Member Gutierrez?
Aye.
Member Biggs?
Yes.
Member Thodakura?
Yes.
Member Blaze?
Aye.
Member Zakor?
Yes.
Member DeBerry?
Aye.
Vice President Bautista?
Yes.
Seventeen ayes, 1 nay, 2 abstention. This matter is adopted by the board. President Harden will now proceed with the separate vote on AR7. As noted on the public agenda is to authorize continued retention of outside counsel. So the action before the board for AR7 is authorize continued retention of the law firm Cozen O'Connor. This item does require a vote.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? We'll open this matter up for discussion before moving to a roll call vote. Are there any comments or questions? There being now none, we can proceed with the roll call vote.
I'll proceed with a roll call vote on AR7. Member Lozano?
Yes.
Member Smith?
No.
Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Velez?
Yes.
Member Boyle?
No.
Member Wallace?
Aye.
Member Custer?
No.
Member Pope?
Yes.
Member Rosenfeld,
No.
Member Rivas,
No.
Member Brown,
Yes.
Member Rio Sierra, Member Bannon,
Aye.
Member Gutierrez,
No.
Member Biggs,
No.
Member Thodakura,
Yes.
Member Blaze,
Yes.
Member Zakor,
Yes.
Member DeBerry,
Yes.
Vice President Bautista,
Yes.
Thirteen ayes, 7 nays. This matter is adopted by the board. President Harden, I believe Board Member Custer has motion MO3.
I move that the board adopt the minutes of the closed session meetings of August 13th, 2025 pursuant to Section 2.06 of the Open Meetings Act. Board members reviewed these minutes and determined that the need for confidentiality exists, and therefore the minutes of the closed session held on August 13th, 2025 shall be maintained as confidential and not available for public inspection.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
I'll proceed with a roll call. Member Lozano,
Yes.
Member Smith,
Aye.
Member Lopez,
Aye.
Member Velez,
Yes.
Member Boyle,
Yes.
Member Wallace,
Aye.
Member Custer,
Aye.
Member Pope, was that an aye?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Member Rosenfeld,
Yes.
Member Rivas,
Yes.
Member Brown,
Yes.
Member Rio Sierra,
Aye.
Member Bannon,
Aye.
Member Gutierrez,
Aye.
Member Biggs,
Yes.
Member Thodakura,
Yes.
Member Blaze,
Aye.
Member Zakor,
Yes.
Member DeBerry,
Aye.
Vice President Bautista,
Yes.
20 ayes, 0 nays. This motion is adopted by the board. President Harden, there are no further items on the public agenda.
We'll move into executive session. Board Member Boyle, do you have motion MO4?
I move for the passage of motion number 250925 MO4 and the commencement of a closed session to consider matters permitted under Section 2C of the Open Meetings Act, subsection 11, as specified in the motion.
I second the motion.
Thank you. I'll proceed with a roll call. Member Lozano,
Yes.
Member Smith,
Aye.
Member Lopez,
Aye.
Member Velez,
Yes.
Member Boyle,
Yes.
Member Wallace,
Aye.
Member Custer,
Aye.
Member Pope,
Yes.
Member Rosenfeld,
Yes.
Member Rivas,
Yes.
Member Brown,
Yes.
Member Rio Sierra,
Aye.
Member Bannon,
Aye.
Member Gutierrez,
Aye.
Member Biggs,
Yes.
Member Thodakura,
Yes.
Member Blaze,
Aye.
Member Zakor,
Yes.
Member DeBerry,
Aye.
Vice President Bautista,
Yes.
20 ayes, 0 nays. This motion is adopted by the board.
This meeting will now go into closed session. Board Secretary, please proceed.
President Harden, I would like to note for the record that there are no items to vote on from executive session.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.